people that do listen to your show.
I can't stand it, I tell you.
I love it, guys. Are the best.
We are hitting the capital.
All right, it's 8 days. Relax. We're on a bus.
Madison.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
That's what they say in Hong Kong. And Jay Thomas.
Man, it feels like we've been going a long time. I don't know. It was like a couple of Fridays. I don't know. Anyway, the Jay Thomas Show is back at Howard 101. Madison is here. I'm sure Shuley will arrive eventually.
I'm here.
You're there. All right.
How dare you?
Lots happened. Lots happened. So some we can talk about and some we can't talk about. Yeah. If we didn't know certain people, we'd be making fun of certain things, but of course we know them, so we act sad. What a terrible thing it is.
What?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I might.
Many people out there get what I'm saying sometimes, and it's just private signals for those who that get me. For those who that don't, the lights get brighter as you turn the station off, and the electricity surge comes back into the building. But the first thing I want to talk about is kind of bad news for Madison, and I have no real feelings for these people.
It is?
But the reports that are hitting everywhere today, and apparently there's a press conference planned for later today or the weekend, is that Jay Leno is going back. Oh. Now, not that I care, because who cares?
Oh.
And Conan O'Brien has been an abject failure in late night, and of course the guy that
show's so funny.
The guy that takes good care of me, David Letterman, has won for the first time in a decade.
Blows.
You know what? I have to tell you something.
It was good when you were on, but it's no Conan. I'm sorry. The comedy is old. It's stale. He's still got the grinder girl and the watermelon floating.
You know those things.
Because I watched them 10 years ago when I was a fan.
Best part.
Well, that's what's good about the show. It's the same thing with me. If you listened to me 10 or 15 years ago, you turn on today, same jokes.
Conan legitimately makes me laugh hard.
So does Letterman when they play that bass line after a joke. I love that.
And how about Paul going, oh, yeah, you're right, Dave.
That's right, sure.
So Leno's been joking that he may not have a job soon and stuff like that. Right?
Hey, I'm going to have a job soon. Hey, see, get some food stamps and stuff.
That's right. By the way, it's just something that every
government cheese.
Every morning show must do. Call us at 888.
Stern 101.
Oh my God!
Thank you.
Jay.
Call us at that number and do your Jay Leno impersonation here on the Mike Kim and Jew show.
I just got a new car to the collection. It's a '72 El Camino.
I'd like to do a show where you have people that have no names. We got the black guy, the Puerto Rican girl, the Jew, and the Anglo-Saxon. So give us a call. So he's been joking about it. Now, Sean Kelly read a kind of a nasty blog or something that said, now this, I haven't read it like this, but it said that Leno was going to go back to late night and that, Conan would be moved to midnight to 1 or whatever it is, and he could leave if he wanted to.
Ouch.
Dare they treat Mike Conando like that?
Yeah. You know, I'll tell you, I think that when you make a move that is against the spirit of entertainment, and I speak from experience, that whatever evil befalls those people that make that move is fine, as far as I'm concerned. I think you're not supposed to do certain things.
I think that that Conan in the very beginning didn't get good ratings.
He should have stayed where he was.
Really well.
Until it was time for him to move.
But you can't blame him. They were like, you're going here. And he's like, okay.
No, that's wrong. At that level, that's not how it happens.
Right.
He threatened them, I feel, allegedly, and said, look,
Nah.
I'm either going to go get a better show on another channel, or I'm going to take, old, Chinhead's place.
I'm sorry. I love him. I think he's hysterical.
Well, you and about 8 other
his
people.
Sketches make me laugh. His
Obviously,
bits,
you
all of
are
it.
a shareholder in the Conan
Yeah.
Oh
company.
my God! I can't believe you don't think he's funny.
I think he's funny. I'm not going to blow him, but
Well, I'm not going to blow him either.
Although that would have brought
redhead.
ratings.
I
That would have
beg
been
to differ.
huge ratings. And tonight, Julie! Well, blow me! Come on! And then he gets to when he wipes his eyebrows, it's semen. Comes over.
They didn't move me from 10. She'd only be blowing me right now.
Right. But, so that's what I'm hearing, and, it's in all the papers. Sean, where did you see that? Is it going to be announced or something?
It was in TMZ, and it's in the New York Times this morning. But
Sean, you love to hurt.
Apparently, they've given Conan the option: take midnight or go. That's it. And Conan apparently is not happy.
Oh.
The new ad campaign for his new slot is "Have you seen me lately?" postcards going out to all the mailboxes.
I went to that taping in L.A. and just had a ball. He was just great. The audience was great. It was fun.
I think perhaps
he put so much effort into the show. There's so many little sketches and bits and
He
skits.
cures cancer. I mean, the
Cures
guy
cancer.
does it all.
They
Jay.
let me pee in the middle of the taping. They were nice.
I mean, they stopped the taping to allow you to pee.
Not quite, but they're like, you're not going to be able to leave during the taping. But
And you're that person.
I have some issues lately, and I beckoned.
Got up and you peed.
And they took me, and they were wonderful, wonderful.
That's why Letterman does so well. He locks your ass in there. They turn the air conditioner down, and no one leaves. No one leaves. If I had a show, I'd lock the doors. No one leaves. Well, if you don't laugh, someone comes and just hits you in the head with something. If you don't, they see you're not
and
laughing.
I'm sorry, but the people, I was offended. They came up to us after the show. And you're like, hey, this is Madison from the morning show. And they're like, where's Shuley?
Yeah, the two head writers
I was
for the
offended
David
by that.
The two head writers for the David Letterman
I'm like,
show
that's some class right
are
there.
fans
Thanks,
of Howard and Shuley, and they wanted to meet him.
Shout out to the Stengel brothers.
Yeah, that's it. The
Stengel brothers.
And so they wanted to meet. It happens all the time. And so I'm sorry that you felt slighted, and I'm sorry for Jay, not Jay Leno, but the sad thing is that you would think that Jay Leno wouldn't want to go back to late night and do it again. But I was looking today in the paper, and Jason Alexander does things that people that don't have any money do, whose careers are gone.
He's got to have some stats.
Oh, no, he's loaded. No, he's absolutely loaded, and he's famous for not being a big spender and the whole deal. Seemingly a very nice guy, always been nice to me and known him forever. He has announced today that he is going to join Jenny Craig and start doing these weight loss ads.
Not for women.
And he just was doing
You
KFC.
want to lose weight? Let's lose weight.
He was doing KFC, eating the chicken, just recently. And the weird thing is, and I'm sure they're paying him $1 million or whatever, and I guess it doesn't hurt him, and I don't know what sort of career he wants.
It beats the sitcoms he tried to put out, I'll tell you that.
Yes,
Well,
those were awful.
I think he does
also.
theater now.
He better.
Last year he was doing a play.
He's great.
I've never liked him.
Oh, he's
Most people
fantastic.
love him.
I love him.
You know what's funny? You don't like the winners, and you seem to like the losers.
I liked
Wasn't that your
Kramer.
dating life also, when you were dating? Well, didn't you like a lot of losers when you were dating?
Probably.
Now,
I don't know. Jason Alexander, George Costanza just he creeped me out.
One of the greatest characters ever. Next
let's go to
Eddie
our
Vedder.
first
Oh,
Jay
that's
Leno
so
impersonator.
annoying.
Our first Jay Leno impersonator.
Very
Let's
good,
go.
or he'll be out of a job.
Let's go to line 4. Yeah, hello, Jay Leno impersonator.
How you doing today? Hey, what's up? That's a new day for me, new day.
What's that?
I'm revamping the whole show, you know?
Sounds like you're revamping English.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. You know how Conan's hair stays up like that?
How does his hair stay up like that?
Max Weinberg shoots a load in his hair before the show.
It's true. I saw.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the first Jay Leno.
Thank you. That's
all
a
right.
true story. I'm revamping the show. I'm going to take the green car and run over homeless people.
I'd watch that show.
All right. Thank you, Jay Leno.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. That'll be, we can do that all day if you want to decide. You want to just you feel
We
like
could
you
do
want
it
to
better all day too.
You do it, yeah. Better phone, better bit. Just call us at 888 Stern 101. The Jay Thomas Show. We're back live at Howard 101. Mark of Virginia. Yes, sir. Mark, how are you?
I just wanted to support Madison's stance about Conan. I think this dude's fucking funny, man.
I think he's funny as well. I just, I think she's just quick to dump on everyone else that isn't Conan.
No, I used to love Letterman. I used to absolutely love him. I actually was in the audience. He made fun of me. I waved. I was stoned. It was the best experience of my life. After that, I feel his humor just became a little stale. He became very bitter and crotchety.
Just didn't speak to you anymore.
No, he became a curmudgeon.
Apparently,
He
having
didn't do the fun bits anymore with Cyril and Mujibur. He didn't go to Rupert G's Deli. He just did nothing.
Apparently, having all the interns suck on him didn't make him any happier.
He was
That's the
bored.
thing
He's
that's odd.
bored. He's not happy. He's not happy.
I think if a few moments ago an intern had just sucked on me, I would come in just so excited. I mean, you could hear it in my voice, how excited I would be. But you know what happened to me before I came on the air? I swallowed some Chloraseptic. That's it. I just gargled some Chloraseptic. No one sucked on me. Nobody rubbed me.
How did it feel?
Feels fine. Feels perfect. That's it.
What I like about Conan the best over those other guys is he always has the best musical guests. He
does.
He does have great musical guests.
You want to hear the real truth? Is there not enough people of his demographic?
You're right.
To make that show a hit.
It is big with 18. They're saying 18 to 35.
They're not home yet. They're not home yet. They're 10:30 at night or 11:30 where depending on where you are. They're not there yet. 12:30, 1 o'clock, they come rolling in.
No, weeknights are home. Come on.
No, I'm not. No. I got college kids. They're 1 o'clock in the morning.
All of my friends watch Conan.
Here's the really bad thing. People don't watch the new Conan fans. If you're going to say they're going to be young people, they don't watch late night television. So a Conan fan is somebody 35 to 40 years old. They're not college kids. And the idiots at the networks keep thinking that kids in college, I don't even think they watch Saturday Night Live, to be honest. I mean, I have nothing but college kids
I
in
watch
my
Saturday
house.
Night Live because I'm a loser and I'm home on Saturday night, but I don't know who else does.
I never see a television go on in my house and there's a television show on. Shuli, have my kids fought you yet?
Your kids aren't in the 18 to 25 bracket, 18 to 35 bracket.
Yes, they are.
One of them is.
Well, the other one's dragged up by him.
Mentally, he's in that bracket. The other
Absolutely. What's the matter with?
No, I
have they
haven't
fought
played
you
them
yet?
I have
they
not.
battled you? No.
No,
Okay.
I want to get it on though. I want to beat your kid's ass.
So last night, my kids are shooting and killing people on the games, and somebody tried to break into our house.
Get out
And
of here!
so-
in the middle of the game.
So we
How
have the
rude.
gunsmith. The gunsmith is home for the holidays and doesn't go back till the 20th. Now remember, our home is filled with weapons and bullets and all kinds of stuff. So I'm asleep, going to wake up early and do the show, and all of a sudden, I see this half-naked, a 19-year-old kid going, Dad, somebody's trying to break in the house. I said, well, Jesus Christ, get a gun.
Nice.
Get a gun, you idiot. So he says to me, Mom told me not to have a gun. I go, not during the week when no one's attacking us.
Right. Not when my friends are coming over.
But when we're under attack,
yeah.
get a gun. So we load a 45, and now, of course, my wife, the Quaker, wakes up.
Oh, great.
What are you doing with the gun? And I go, someone trying to break into the house. So they shook on a door, they beat on the window, and so, of course, I do what you're not supposed to do.
You
I
open
walk
the door?
outside
Yeah.
in my underwear with no pants on.
You're an idiot.
And into
You're the guy
street.
in the horror movie that gets stabbed
Yes.
through the heart by a machete from behind.
And I'm standing in the driveway, and that's a very not a good defensive position because you're leaning forward on the incline of the driveway. Right?
Are you wearing briefs or nut huggers?
No, I got the kind of in betweens there.
I got
They nut hug, but they hang loose
Right.
below.
Right.
Now, we called 911 and we're waiting. And so here comes the cop. And Madison, this handsome, California cop gets out of big muscles on him. What's the problem? I go, well, now, of course, my son with the gun's now hiding in the house. We don't want to say we have a gun. So I said, well, they shook this door over here and maybe they jumped over the fence or whatever. And he's looking around and I've been standing by a parked, taxi cab for the 4 or 5 minutes. I'm waiting for the cops to come. They're just standing by this, not a car, but like the van type. Right?
Uh-huh.
And the cop and I are talking and he says, did you see anything? I said, no, but we heard people shaking the door and beating on the door. It looks like they're trying to, get into this, door here in the street. And so he puts the flashlight around. All of a sudden, he shines the flashlight into the cab and there's a guy sleeping or something hiding in the cab.
Yeah.
Now, I'd been standing there the whole time
Wow.
in my underwear. And the cop says, what are you doing? And the cab driver says, I'm sleeping, getting some sleep. And he says, did you see anybody? He goes, oh yes, two guys. So he listened to us the whole time. Yeah. 2 guys, they shook the door and they ran that way like that. And I look and I'm thinking, here's how stupid I am. Let's say the killers, the robbers, had just hidden in the car when I came out. Yeah, I mean, that was stupid, right? In my underwear. But you want to go investigate. That's why people get killed.
And for all you know, it could have been that guy. There's no 2 other guys there. It could have been
No, there
him.
wasn't. You're right, there wasn't. But he was in a taxi cab, What's he doing?
Yeah, they make
What's he
good,
gonna
they
do?
make good money.
They're good people, right. Then I'm thinking, what sort of neighborhood do I live in when there's a guy sleeping in a taxi cab?
That's what I was going to ask you. I'm like,
I
what,
live
are
in
you
a terrible
Staying
neighborhood.
in a casino?
Terrible. We moved in a neighborhood that was supposed to change, and it just hasn't. In fact, when we moved, they said the property values went down the day we got there, so.
Jay
let's
standing
go
by
to,
a Mr. Frosty in his underwear with a shotgun.
Dan of New Hampshire. Dan, the big news is that Jay Leno may be going back to the time slot. I could care less.
Hey, how you doing, Jay? How are you?
It's like the leprechaun, Jay.
Here we go. We got, yes, Jay. All right, hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm just going to talk to you as Jay Leno, so stay in character now.
Yeah, I was in the closet listening to the executives on the phone, and that's how I found out they're giving the show back to Conan.
Okay.
That's a great callback. If you watch the Late Shift.
That's from Late Shift,
That's
the
right.
movie when Jay Leno had to. Would you stay in character,
that's
please?
in the paper.
Oh yeah, that was a great movie. That woman was a bitch though.
Who, Helen Kushnick?
No, you know
Yeah,
what?
but she's dead. So
Yeah, you know what? When I was at that point, I guess I'd been doing the Leno show at that point before I became Letterman's bitch, and she had locked herself in the office. The producer, right, Shuli, that woman?
Yeah, Kushnick.
And
yeah,
they
she
had
started trashing the place.
They had to get security
Yeah.
and everything. And I remember I was kind of like in that neighborhood when that happened. That was crazy.
Well,
locking
didn't
herself
her
in there.
husband or her son pass away from AIDS? I think she had someone in her immediate family.
Right,
Might have been.
right.
And that was something I remember from the movie where she was yelling at Kathy Bates played her in the movie, and she was fantastic. And she was yelling at Jay that you made a promise to my husband that you would take care of me, that you would never leave me, and that you would, and he basically turned his back on her and got her fired from the show because
So
she
she locked herself in the office.
right.
then she smashed him in the leg with a sledgehammer.
All right, Dan. There you go.
Sorry.
Thank you, Dan in New Hampshire. Another Jay Leno impersonator. Unbelievable.
New Hampshire's got some funny people. I gotta tell you.
Jim, New Jersey. Yes, Jim. How are you? Jim?
Good morning.
Yes.
I believe
Good morning,
at this
Jim.
point in our evolution, there are
Are you doing Charlie Rose? Is that your
he's serious.
impersonation?
two types of people. There's Harvard types and there's Ball State types. Now, what that means is that there's people who get and understand Conan's humor, which is kind of a Harvard Lampoon type thing.
Sure.
And then there's people who are still loving Dave, and that's the Ball State people. So I'll let you decide.
I
who
wouldn't
is
say
the more...
that Conan's humor with something like a masturbating bear was
Harvard.
very Harvard Lampoonish. His humor is occasionally
He comes from Harvard.
a bit highbrow. I know he comes from Harvard.
Right.
I know everything about him.
Right, right.
The masturbating bear.
Nothing says Ivy League like the Chuck Norris slot machine
I'm
handle.
just suggesting that the people.
Oh,
who,
that's the best.
I'm
That
suggesting that the people who still like Dave are Ball State types, and I'll let you figure out that.
Well, when you say Ball State, you've
Well, what do
said
we
it
gotta
3
figure
times.
out? I mean,
Ball State is a school filled with retards at this point.
we get
Well,
it. We get
I
it.
We
don't
understand what
know
you're
that that's
saying
true.
there.
I mean, that's like saying if he's from Northern Illinois or whatever. You're just saying that Midwesterners or people
Are
from
stupid.
Indiana are
Yeah.
stupid.
Just,
Well, you know what?
Conan has a lot of smart Jews on his staff. That's
true.
how it is. I know one of them. I know one of the Jew writers on his staff.
Well, listen,
And,
the reason
yeah.
why I like
It's
Dave,
very witty.
the reason why I like Dave more is just
Oh.
because his can I just look? She gives her opinion.
I'm
Everybody
obsessed.
shuts the fuck up.
Shuli
And
wants
I
a
wanna-
job after
and I
Howard
want. You're
goes
damn
away.
right, I do.
You know
and
what?
I
have to agree
You
with
seem more
Shuli
like
on
a
this.
Conan
Yeah,
guy.
Jay
to me.
wants a job after Howard goes away.
Everybody does. Listen to me. I like Dave because
I'm going to
number
lock
one-
myself in an office if they don't give me the job.
Number one, his sense of humor is very dry, and he's not. Conan is too self-deprecating all the time. He's got to goof on himself all the time. He's got to take a break from that shit every now and then. And Dave's the type of guy that will call out his guest for doing stupid shit.
Okay.
Conan will not.
Conan's nice to the guests.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
He's more of a fluff piece type of interviewer, I think. And Dave,
You think Conan's
I think
fluff
the
piece, you're
people have
missing something.
spoken. No, but I think, you know what?
I
You
see
can
what
say
you're saying.
You can say whatever you want to say about ratings and all that, but the people have spoken. They hate Jay Leno at 10 o'clock. Nobody cares about a talk show then. And they don't like Conan, and they've left him and they've run over to
There's just no comparison. Dave is stale. There's no sketches. There's no skit in a sketch. There's no sketches. There's no bits anymore.
Dave's dying on the vine.
He used to do the Taco Bell
He's
thing
not
where he
dying
would,
on the vine.
Remember when he did the Taco Bell thing where he'd be in the pickup window for Taco Bell? That was fun.
the guy who's getting bumped from 10 o'clock is dying on the vine.
That's right.
Not Letterman. Letterman's winning. Letterman's beating all of
You
them.
know what? I want my Special Victims Unit reruns back on there.
Thank you
Or
so
whatever
much
was
for
on.
taking my call, Jay.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
And-
Jim, you
and-
want to try and do Jay Leno before you hang up?
I could, but I'd rather just say I forgive you for what you said about my parents, Jay.
About your parents?
Yeah, this is that good old caller named Claire from New Jersey. Remember what you said about my parents, Jay?
Claire.
Remember?
Oh, Claire.
I know you don't care, and it's all past, and everybody's forgotten about it.
Your
So
name is Claire?
no, Jay. My name is actually Jim, for real. But listen, Jay.
You've got this angry thing in your
I
voice.
forgive you,
and you know
Jay.
what I feel badly
I
about?
forgive you, Jay.
Claire,
I
nobody-
don't remember
I-
saying
nobody
anything about your
remembers.
parents.
I
But
forgive
Jim,
you, Jay.
say it again and let me repeat it, and let's see how we feel. What did I say about your
All
parents?
I
And
have
let me
to say
repeat.
at this point, Jay, is I forgive you.
I don't care. I want
You're a
to say it
good
again.
Christian.
What is it? What did I say about?
I think
your
you said fuck your parents.
parents? Did I say your mother should have swallowed you when she had the chance?
No, it was worse.
That's
than that.
usually the
Come on,
the
tell
comeback.
us what
I
it
have.
was.
It was
Yeah.
worse than that, Jay. And
By
all
the
I'm
way,
saying
those
is
of
I
you
forgive you.
who use that joke, and I
You
mean
don't
this.
have to remember it, Jay, for me to forgive you.
No, I'm making an announcement. Let's say today you're with a person and they insult you.
Yes.
And you yell at them, hey, your mother should have swallowed you when she had the chance. And I'm going to tell you this from personal
You
experience.
can't swallow a
It
baby.
was worse than that, Jay.
No, hold on a minute. You had better either be a person that knows how to fight or a person that has a weapon on them. That insult makes people come at you with such rage.
What you said was worse.
Really. I just want to say that I've used that a couple of times, Shuli, and it's gotten me into terrible,
Yeah, Jay, you
terrible
don't have to
trouble.
remember what you said for me to forgive you, and I'm going to hang up now, and you guys have a wonderful day. You too, Madison.
I'm looking
you.
through the
Take
archives.
care.
I'm looking through
Jim, did I say I wish your parents were...
Jim, I'm looking through the archives. Did he say your mother's shit pipe has an echo because it's so huge?
You know,
All
I
right,
don't
get back
remember...
to me on that.
I don't remember what I wanted to,
That's a shame.
repeat it.
Poor darling.
Now, do you know Mr. Warmth from Myrtle Beach? You know
Do
him?
I? No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Mr. Warmth from Myrtle Beach, the Jay Thomas Show with Shuli, yes, sir, and Madison, yes, sir. How are you, Mr.
Good
Warmth?
morning. Good morning. Well,
Yes.
this is some brouhaha on the phone. Hey, I want to ask a serious question.
Brouhaha. Over the late... what's sad?
smoke it.
I mean, really, you have to be in such bad shape as a person to still be watching late night television. I mean, that's the truth.
No, it isn't.
It is the truth.
I agree.
I mean,
That's my question.
I love
yeah.
Conan. I
Thank
watch
you,
him
Mr.
every
Warmth.
night.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's my question. Shuli and Madison, they're of a younger generation. You, me and Jay here. Jay, you're older than dirt. I'm a little younger. But this late night stuff is the same crap for the past 50 years. A guy behind a desk, coffee cup, bits, sketches, or sketches, as Madison says.
Thank you.
Sketches.
But they're younger, these two, and do they have any ideas of a better late night show at 11:30? Do they have any ideas?
No,
what
Conan.
make them up?
Well, Carson was the king, man, back in the day. I remember, his show, they run it on one of the cable channels, Carson's Comedy Classics, like 30 minutes, and I have my DVR set to record every single one of them. I love watching
Well,
old
that's
Carson
good because
stuff.
it cuts out the stuff you
And
don't
he
wanna
did,
see.
and he did a ton of sketches, and
did.
and the
You know
best,
what? He
the
was
best
a
sketches,
sketch genius.
I love
You know who
that.
I loved?
Catching on.
but almost
You know who
every
I
sketch
loved, though?
bombed, which was great about it.
That's
You know, my
fine.
favorite guy was Skitch Henderson.
I remember him.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I think that Johnny Carson left. Think about it. He would have to be interviewing all of these reality show stars, all of these young musicians.
So Nick
and
Jonas, you just got married. What's that about?
Yeah, I think he left
Kevin got married.
at the
surely.
perfect time. I don't know if he planned it or if he knew it was coming or whatever. But that show was for grown-ups. And I think the Letterman show is still kind of a grown-up show. And what about Jimmy Fallon? Is he funny?
Nah, I don't like it.
I like Fallon. I do.
Of course you do.
No, because he talks video games and stuff, and he's also, I think he's more of a younger generation type talk show, and does a lot of bits, a lot of sketches.
He's got to be up late at night as you're coming down from ecstasy. You turn
Oh,
on.
but his sketches are terrible. They throw a hot dog into a hole.
That's an old joke. And what about the Scottish guy?
I think he's really funny, and
Craig
he gets
Ferguson.
no recognition.
I did a movie
I think
that
Craig
he wrote
Ferguson is hysterical.
and starred in called The Big Tease, and it's really a funny movie. And I liked him, and he was a good guy and everything. And I watch him, and I think he's pleasant to watch, but he doesn't make me laugh. It's like he's having a conversation with people from Scotland. It seems to me. It's like, it's just not American enough or something. I don't, but his dad died. He did a whole thing on his dad, and I watched that, and I thought that was funny. But then I found out it was supposed to be sad, and then I was embarrassed. I mean, whoopsie. So, all right, Mr. Warmth, thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
One more thing for Madison. Can I say something?
I
Okay.
can't wait. Sure.
No, I listen to you on First Wave, and I don't care what the emails say. I think you have a beautiful voice.
Thank
Wow.
you.
That's unbelievable.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Dustin of Oklahoma. Yes, Dustin, the Jay Thomas Show. God, I'm glad something happened that we're actually talking about here. Jay Leno, a complete failure at 10 o'clock. News channels, the local news on the NBC stations had decided to already start canceling him. Conan, a complete failure.
Oh, would you stop saying that? You're
At
pissing me
11:30.
off.
Because I
Yeah.
can't.
I already
Take
don't
it word
feel
another
good
way.
today, Jay. I already had to excuse myself to have diarrhea.
Complete failure.
Come on.
You with me, Jay?
Hey, you know what? Take some of the diarrhea with you, and that's the Conan O'Brien.
You know, you're an ass.
Thank
You're a
you.
real
Dustin.
ass. You don't
Yes,
know
Dustin.
comedy.
Yes, Dustin, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dustin.
I happen to like Conan. I used to like when he would have the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing up and have the other guy doing his mouth. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it with Michael Jackson. Those were great. That's what I liked about Conan. I really haven't watched him since he moved the time slot.
Well, you're a fool.
But he's got to
Yeah.
be better than Jay. You know, anybody's better than Jay.
You know what it is? I'm telling you now. It's a bunch of old losers watching Jay Leno. And I'll tell you, you know what the guy about Ball State, about Letterman, he may be right. You know, when you go to the Letterman show, and you've been with me a couple of times, Madison, and surely you were in the audience this
He's
time.
too angry and he's too militantly liberal.
But hold on
I'm
a
sorry.
minute. Weren't
He's
there
so
a bunch of
freaking
Midwestern
liberal.
people in that audience who loved
I
him?
don't know.
That's
Jay
who
Leno?
controls
People
America.
just come
Sure.
to town and they want tickets
Nobody
to
likes
anything.
Jay.
That's all it is.
Well, all right.
He's
Thank
an
you.
angry, curmudgeonly liberal, okay?
I think we've...
Conan
I
doesn't
don't
show
know.
his side of politics at all. But Letterman, I mean, any chance he gets to be nasty to a Republican, he'll take it. And I don't like
don't
that.
start with all of that.
Okay.
You know what? Any chance you get to be, I'm going to say this again. Republicans are like the guys at the golf courses. They're not people that you want to hang with. And then the really liberal Democrats are like the people you meet at health food stores. And you don't like them either. That's exactly correct.
I know.
But there seem to be more of the Republican
But Letterman
types.
is fucking nasty on the air when it comes to any Republican. He is nasty. I have seen it, and it is gross. You don't act like that to a guest.
Well, you're going to make a great mom one day. Yeah.
Bite it. Bite your
Get your
tongue.
kid. Now, when you do that, when you have children, grab both their shoulders when you do it.
Shake,
Because
give him a good shake.
that's how Alec Baldwin parents, and I read the book. Okay. I read the book. All right, well, we'll continue talking about this. We got Madison all, cranked up, which is exciting. Shuli could care less, and I'm just trying to live through the morning. And it is the Jay Thomas Show at Howard 101. Well, of course, we'll have some guests today at on the Jay Thomas Show. I remember this guy. Sean, what TV show was Jim Moret on?
He was on Inside Edition, I believe.
Now, he's written a book, and the book is about, this is like the Mitch Albom book guy, who you're going to meet in heaven and all that. And then, you know what I think?
I don't meet Mitch in heaven, I'll tell you that.
I think the same people that watch Jay Leno buy Mitch Albom's books.
Of course.
Jim Moret has a book out, The Last Day of My Life. And it talks about, oh, wait a minute, he was contemplating suicide.
Who hasn't?
Wait a minute.
Get in line.
I love this. He was thinking about killing himself. Instead, he went, I think I'll write a book.
Some people choose Jesus when they are contemplating that. I knew someone who had a gun to his head. He was like, I'm going to kill myself. And then he embraced Jesus.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, he's a big surfer Jesus guy. He surfs.
Well, his father was James Darren, the old actor. Remember that guy?
From
James
Bewitched?
Darren? No,
that's
that was
Darren.
Yeah.
Kid.
That was Dick York. Or Dick
So
York.
I guess what the book is about is how would you live your last day? I would be crying. If I knew I was going to die, I would be
I'd probably
weeping.
be hunkered down, hiding under the covers.
I would be trying to figure out how to do something that wouldn't hurt me too badly.
I would be in the audience of Conan going, you suck!
Then we're going to have Tara Patrick on.
Aw, that whore.
The memoir of love and porn. It's a no holds barred tell all.
Wouldn't it be great if it was a different Tara Patrick and Madison didn't know? It's like Tara Patrick, the school teacher. Oh, that whore?
Born Linda Ann Hopkins in Great Falls, Montana, became, Tara Patrick. Now, she's trying to be, I guess, a regular actress now or something.
Oh, come on. It doesn't work.
What?
Margaret Cho wrote the foreword to the book, written by comedian, actress, and fellow sexually empowered, successful Asian businesswoman, Margaret Cho. Tell me that that's a joke.
Well, it would be the first one she's made in her career.
Me. But Patrick, of course, hosts the Playboy TV erotic instructional show, School of Sex. So,
and she wants to be a regular actress.
Yeah, of course she does.
Okay.
Of course she does.
That worked out well for Tracy Lords.
So those will be our two guests. I do want to, since we mentioned this guy, Jim Moret, I do want to talk about someone who has attempted suicide.
Well, hey, careful.
I believe it's incumbent upon me.
Watch yourself.
Because the announcements are being made and people are asking all sorts of questions.
Think about this before you say anything.
That Billy Joel's daughter. That Billy Joel's daughter.
Son of a bitch.
It has been announced. It has been announced that, and I read everything. I must have missed this. That and she's fine now.
If that was a game of chicken, I veered. I turned.
She's fine now. But they're now talking about what she used to try to kill herself. She used homeopathic sleeping pills. Now, the very definition of homeopathic.
I'm going to have to try those because I've tried every other.
Is homeopathic? Are those pills in Margaret Cho's medicine cabinet?
It means that it comes from nature.
Like melatonin.
Wow, you're
Whatever.
smart.
It comes from nature.
You should be a doctor or something.
And it's not like you're taking a handful of Ambien or a handful of Sominex. I don't know the names of them. What sleeping tablet do you take, Madison?
I take Ambien.
Okay. If you took a handful, would that do you in?
I don't think it would kill me. I'd have a really wonderful sleep, but I'd probably wake up 5-6 hours later. It doesn't keep you asleep, unfortunately.
Wow. So, but there must be, I don't know the names.
But you hallucinate all of it.
If you want to do a Jay Leno impersonation, or if you've taken a sleeping tablet that has tried to kill yourself, give us a call.
If you're on Ambien right now and you're hallucinating, give us a call. My mother, she'll see the rug move, the lamp fly.
On Ambien, your mother sees all
My
this.
clothes have conversations with me. I was packing for a vacation one time in Ambien, and these clothes were like, bring me, bring me, bring me.
Does your mother live in a bottle and you rub it and she comes out and she does her nose and everything? She's like, so little, what's her name, is now announced, Billy Joel's daughter. She has that Liza Minnelli face where.
Oh, I think she's cute.
Her head
Don't
looks
say
like
anything
it was,
bad. Alexa Ray.
You know when you see those cars where they've got a fender painted one color and then the bumper's another color and all? She's got that kind of head. Does she have a good body? Does anybody know if she has
she's tiny.
teeny tiny?
Big boobs.
And she's got that mother, that Christy Brinkley, who says she's a wonderful parent, even though she's had 5 husbands.
Exactly like
Right.
Christy. She looks more like Billy, but she's still really cute.
How do you take a handful of let me just let's say I grab a bunch of, what would be a little homeopathy?
Echinacea or something.
I try and
St.
overdose
John's.
on echinacea.
Melatonin.
St. John's wort.
Melatonin.
Melatonin. What, when you go to the bathroom, do daisies come out of your ass? I mean, what happens? What are the side
There
effects
is
of it?
probably a strange smell in the urine.
But could she have killed herself? Because it doesn't
I
have
don't
any
think she
real
was trying to
medicine
kill
in
herself.
it.
I think she was just trying to go to sleep. Go to sleep. She's probably upset about something.
Her boyfriend.
Yeah, but I think they had broken up 2 years prior, right?
Oh, so she just woke up and started thinking about it? That happens to me all the time.
Maybe.
So. Well, what does homeopathic mean, Garrett? You're already making fun of me and all that. What does it mean?
It means very diluted, like 100,000% of the active ingredient.
Teeny tiny amount. So you'd have to take 1,000 pills to get the actual.
Even more than, it would be 1 million pills to get milligrams worth.
You'd have to take
That's
a
a lot of
million
work.
melatonin.
She'd have been up all day doing that, Julie, taking pills.
Homeopathic stuff, yeah.
Don't take more than 1 million. That's what it says on the
Doctor, I threw my shoulder out taking 1 million pills, trying to kill myself. I need Tommy John surgery.
I think that Garrett's exaggerating.
I'm not.
Let's go to
Garrett's almost a
Jeff of
doctor.
New Hampshire, our roving reporter in the Gumbo Radio Network. Jeff, the Jay Thomas Show at hour 101. Good morning. Here we go. Where is it? Where are you?
America and all the ships at sea.
It's the Gumbo Radio Network.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, let's join our special reporter in the field, Jeff Furlot. Jeff Furlot. Jeff Furlot. Jeff Furlot.
All right, we heard your name enough. Jeff, talk anytime, would you?
Dateline, Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Last night, a homeless man of indeterminate race was found wandering the streets. That man was charged with attempting to break into one Jay Thomas's house. Upon arrest, it was found out that this man was Tiger Woods, and asked why he was looking for a place to hide from the paparazzi. And he was sure that no one would find him there. This reporter's advice to Tiger Woods
Oh, you're going to keep going with this sketch?
I love it. Yay.
Yeah.
This reporter's advice would be to move to Cambodia and pull a Colonel Walter Kurtz, a la Apocalypse Now, and start your own tribe. With this report, oh, God, I failed completely.
Oh, you're
With
done.
This report,
Terrible.
I am so done. Sorry, guys.
Beats the Leno voice.
There you go.
I liked it.
You know what? Call Conan later and
I
go on that show.
think Tiger Woods should hide out at your house.
Hey, by the way,
Would you
wait a
take
minute.
him?
2010 is the year of the Tiger. I mean,
if
could
he
this
came
guy?
to your house, Jay, because since nobody really seems to be interested in you, could he come to your house and hide out? Would you be okay with that?
Nothing would happen to him at my home. He would be completely safe.
I don't know.
No one would notice him.
I think
Nothing.
somebody would eventually notice him.
The kids would ignore him. Hell, the kids would think he was there to fix something. They wouldn't know who he was.
Would you
know.
where would you put him?
Oh, I'd put him down. As soon as my son leaves for college, he would go down in that room.
Okay.
Hey, Jay,
now,
did you
this
hear
There's some
that
privacy there.
he was spotted at a party a few days ago in Palm Beach with a woman other than his wife, that Ehrlich-Schlucken woman?
Elin?
No. The
Wait a minute.
Ehrlich-Schlucken woman. Whatever her name is.
He was with that woman? He was with
Yucatel?
Yeah, he was with Yucatel at a party in Florida.
I don't believe it. I mean,
it was like the game Telephone. He was with Bob Euchre.
But if 2010 is the year of the Tiger, I mean, could this guy get laid any more than he did in 2009? I mean, usually you're all
dick will
excited.
fall off.
I mean, my God. You know, I said this, well, we weren't really around, we were around for a day or two, when it happened, but he was on Ambien, and the reports were that not only does it knock you out, but right before you go to sleep, apparently you can have incredible sex before you fall asleep. And the wife hit him
I fell asleep during
with
it.
a 9-iron while he was in an Ambien haze.
It's possible.
In the mouth. And I got to tell you.
Wait, so they were doing it?
No, God, no. She had been called by some people, and
so he was in a haze, like almost sleeping, and she went and clocked him.
With a 9-iron in the mouth. And he gets up and stumbles out of the house, gets into the car.
on me.
Right.
Tiger.
Well, you know what? He's just going to give her $500 million. I mean, think about it, $500 million. And to me, he should have gone to Sweden and rented a house near where she's staying, taken the kids to the park and school and whatever the deal was. And I think the world would have been much more interested in him if for the next 12 months he did stuff like that. Forget that he's going to stay married or whether he stays married or not. He should have been there and done stuff with his children, right? So she's over there. If he's with a woman in Florida.
That's ballsy, man.
No, he's done. You know, he's you know what? In my eyes, he's done.
There's rumors out there also that he's starting to pay these broads that have come forward to shut the fuck up and to not go into any more detail about anything else.
Oh no, he pays a couple of them thousands of dollars a month. They're on like retainer.
Well,
to keep their mouth shut.
there's another a thought that there's women we haven't even heard from that he's had to up the payments to keep them silent.
Ugh.
And listen,
Very
one of the women that was in, I guess says she was in Playboy, but she's really an escort. She is going to start playing golf. I'll get her name here in a second, but it was announced this morning that she is going to start playing golf and go out on the, like the celebrity golf tour or whatever I mean, what's so dumb about this? And he is just dumb. At the end of the day, he's just stupid. And it makes you laugh. I think AT&T dropped him. Did they drop him yesterday?
I think the only one who hasn't dropped him is the Gatorade. No, EA Sports says they're not going to drop him because they do the Tiger Woods golf games. And I don't know if Gatorade dropped him or not.
Well, in the worst economy ever, where everybody's trying to cut salaries, you got this guy making millions of dollars off of you. If I was at any of the endorsement companies, I would be so glad we get to dump this guy because I don't think a celebrity endorsement, I mean, maybe the tennis shoes, with Michael Jordan or the basketball players. The guys buy crap because Tiger Woods says go buy it, or you invest in that stupid company. No,
it's not like if Conan were to say buy this.
Yeah,
I would buy.
I would.
Hair gel. But so if Tiger Woods was seen with this woman, he's a complete idiot. But I heard, Sean, he was getting plastic surgery.
Yeah, I heard she fucked him up good.
No, she really hit him in the mouth.
Somebody said that his teeth were missing and shit.
All of that stuff. Missing. What he probably looks like are his relatives.
Or Leon Spinks. One of the two.
Let's go to Mike of Massachusetts. We've had the phones open all morning. Jay Leno is apparently going to be moved back to late night. And NBC has announced this is unconfirmed and alleged, but NBC may in fact announce that either Conan can take the late night show, the later show, or he can leave if he would like to. And Jay Leno supposedly is going to be moving back. Yes, Mike, you want to do your Jay Leno impersonation?
Who needs Ambien when you can just watch my show? Green car.
There you go, the Jay Leno impersonation.
Who needs Ambien?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hey, guys, real quick, can I plug a charity real quick?
No. If you do it as Jay Leno.
Hey, everybody, buddy of mine who was killed in Iraq, website,
wait a minute. Please stop it. Hold it. Stop it. You did a Jay Leno impersonation, then you go into your buddy who was,
or something.
Who your buddy killed in Iraq charity. It kind of dilutes the.
Yeah. What's the charity?
Yeah.
The charity is, rememberingryan.org, and it's putting people through college. It's a great cause. Love the show, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
all right,
buddy.
Thanks. Don't call up and do a bit and then do the sad thing with the guy that's dead.
That was nice.
That always throws me.
Hey, so did you see this underwear bomber guy? Yeah,
By the way, when he shot the stuff in his underwear,
it was in the front. What's all the stains in the back? That's what I was wondering too, right?
No, but he burned his balls off.
Yeah, he did. See, here's my theory.
You know what's so funny? I have read a little bit about it, but then they showed a picture in the USA Today yesterday of these underwear and how they're doing
they're showing the actual underwear.
Yeah, it's
they're showing
front page.
Are there skid marks? Did he not wipe properly?
No, they're showing. I'm looking at it going, no, wait a minute. This idiot put something by his testicles and lights his crotch on fire.
He wanted to die. For Allah, he didn't care about his balls.
I disagree. Here's my theory.
They don't want to live when they bomb.
Here's my theory.
They want to die.
You ready for this? Mm-hmm. This guy was a newbie in Al Qaeda. This was a hazing. Okay, they didn't even like this dude, and this thing wasn't supposed to work at all. Right? They were just fucking with him. They were like, "Listen, so put this underwear on when you get up in the plane. Just pull this and light it, and boom, it'll explode." And then they're all sitting around. And then they're all sitting around some cave that night, and CNN breaking news. And then they're just elbowing each other, laughing. Like, I can't believe the idiot did it. like somebody's gonna jump out, punking him
to get into Pi Kappa Alpha or something.
Yeah.
How come the regular guys?
Good job, Flounder.
How? You know what? The Al Qaeda's like when they sent you for the craptacular. Like we're all sitting here. We all have our hats on. We have the rags on our head, and we go, now, Shuli, you will go, and we all kiss you, and you're gonna get 72 versions after you do the craptacular.
Okay, who's gonna try the underwear bomb? Let Mikey try it. He'll try anything.
Jim Murray, who years ago from Inside Edition, apparently was contemplating suicide and said, "No, I want to live and sell a book." And he's next. Of course, you can go to jthomas.com and find out what's happening in the J. Thomas world. And, Sean, I believe we have some gals at jthomas.com.
Babe of the day on the J. Thomas website. Go to it.
Was it Madison?
Babe of the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'd be my babe of the day.
We've been trying to drive people to this Jay Thomas website with little or no success at all.
Maybe this will work.
It's a fun website.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll babe
if this
of the
doesn't
day.
work, next month we're doing schlong of the day. So
We'll do
see.
anything.
I will bare my tits, man. They're huge
All right.
lately.
I don't think Jim Murray wants to hear this kind of
Yes, he
talk.
does.
No, he doesn't. Let's welcome Jim Murray.
Why don't
Go
we
to
ask him?
Moret. That's how you spell Murray.com. The last day of my life. Jim, of course, I know you from Inside Edition and, of course, CNN when you covered the O.J. and the Michael Jackson trials and all that. And the last day of my life, now, this is hard for me to say, but it says you were seriously contemplating suicide and you decided not to, and then you write a book. And after everything we've seen on Inside Edition, I would think you would have not wanted to expose yourself like you've seen so many entertainers and celebrities exposed. You know what I'm saying? After all the years of doing that on TV.
Yeah, I know. First of all, thanks so much for having me on. I'm a big fan of yours, and I'm going to your website even without the titillation. Okay.
Oh, it's just pictures of my wife on vacation. That's all it is. My wife and I. It's on vacation.
You know, I really got to a point, like so many people, where I felt like I couldn't dig my way out. I got into a bad mortgage after I left CNN. There were a couple of years that I didn't work. I mean, you know this industry. You know.
Oh God, it's awful.
And when I was finally doing fine again at Inside Edition, I'd already lit this time bomb, this financial mess, and my mortgage was going to shoot up. I was upside down in my home, and I thought, there's just no way out. And one day I'm driving, and I'm thinking, this is a perfect road. I was in a hilly canyon in Malibu above PCH, and I'd never been on this road before, and it was the perfect spot to go over, and I knew it would look like an accident, and my family would be okay, and the reality is, they wouldn't be okay. And I mean, I literally stopped the car. I was kind of scared straight. It was one of those Jimmy Stewart moments in It's a Wonderful Life. But
you were just going to swerve the car over the mountain. You know, my fear, if I decide, I would be afraid that I would live and be
paralyzed.
Like be paraplegic or whatever. I mean, you were positive that it was going to do you in.
Yeah, knowing your luck, Jay, you'd wake up in the glove compartment, feeling fine.
Or something.
Or you'd have to tap out a book, like blink it out, like the diving bell and the butterfly.
Yeah. Jim, I'm so glad you didn't do it, because if you're already having bad luck and you try to commit suicide, I worry that the karma that you're already in, may continue. I mean, so I'm glad you didn't try it, because you'd be blinking this interview right now. Now the book, of course, is The Last Day of My Life, and of course, Jim Murray knows all about people's problems and situations from Inside Edition and everything else. And so back again, when you decide, I'm going to open myself up and tell everybody how I feel and admit to people I considered suicide. Now, I know there have been times on Inside Edition when you turn the mic off and the camera goes down and you go, good Lord, what was that person thinking, or Charlie Sheen or Billy Joel's daughter or whatever. You open yourself up to that kind of ridicule. And I know you help people too, but did you think about the ridicule?
I'll tell you how it evolved, really. I mean, I started writing, and I started writing about what if I had one day left. And that's really the premise of the book. And I started writing about things like friendship and love and forgiveness and apology and gratitude and adventure. And they really had nothing to do with money. It had to do with what was really important to me in my life and how I wanted to leave my legacy. And I wrote it for me, and my wife was amazing. She said, look, this is important. I want you to write. First of all, she cried when she read the part, because I didn't talk to her about it, about wanting to go over the edge. And she said, Jimmy, I love you. Our kids love you.
talk to me, talk to anybody, but don't do anything. And she gave me the strength and blessing to move forward and write this. And then at a certain point, she said, this is a book. A lot of people must be feeling this way. And I look at this as a book of hope. This isn't a depressing book about, oh, woe is me. I mean, I take responsibility for what I've done, and I say, you know what, I've made some mistakes, and I know everyone has. But this is a book that I'm hoping will inspire people to re-examine their lives and say, you know what, we all have challenges. I can do it. So, no, I'm not worried about ridicule. I've been getting dozens and dozens of emails from people saying, gosh, I'm really glad that you're talking about something that I was feeling because I don't feel so alone now. And if somebody wants to ridicule me, that's fine. I mean, my life is an open book, Jay. I mean, I don't worry about it.
No, I understand, but it also, if this doesn't sell well, I hope you don't kill yourself or anything.
I could always just put in the paperback version, I changed my mind as the final words.
Oh,
no. I'm kidding.
Now, let's
hold on for one more.
You know what you
day.
mentioned? You know what you mentioned 3 times when we were talking? You mentioned your mortgage 3 times. And I will tell you now that I worry, and I've been in real estate for years, and I'm not upside down in my investments or anything, but I've been where you were. Why didn't you go home? This is the most difficult thing to do, and it's happened to millions of people. Honey, and kids, Daddy, we're in real financial trouble, and we're going to move to an apartment, and it'll probably be a nice apartment, but I'm going to file for bankruptcy and the whole thing. There's something, is that in the book? There's something that is cathartic about giving up the financial end of it. And yet prior to that, and I've been there, you go, shit, I'm going to kill myself. This is awful. I'm embarrassed and everything else. Why don't you just move them into an apartment or something?
Because when I left CNN, I'm sure you can understand this. You think, okay, my next gig is around the corner. And it's not going to be that long. And sometimes it's much longer than you think. So you don't really believe, or you don't want to believe. And you think, everything will be okay. Look, it's foolish. I'm not going to argue with that.
I ought to write a book and say, you know what? It isn't going to be okay. That would be a good book to read.
I don't want to read that book.
Really, it's not going to be okay. I can prove it.
It's going to suck.
It's going to suck, But you mentioned, and listen, and there's so many people that are talking about finances, and you see them on TV crying, and I look at it, and if I really went down low, I would have to say to my wife, we have this incredible possession here that is dragging us down, and we are moving, and we are selling. And I have friends that are doing it now, and there's a relief in them when they get to their new spot.
Right.
And, Jim, look, we can go pretty low in this business, but we're not going to be in a cardboard box.
Right.
Okay. So, do you still live in that house that was dragging you down?
We do, because we're upside down in it right now.
Can't get rid of it.
And so I'm determined to try to make it work.
Well, when you negotiate at your job, this can't help you financially when they know you're wounded.
Right.
You know what?
Damaged goods.
That's right. Shuli knows. We both know this damaged goods negotiation.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I didn't even consider that. So thank you for lightening my day.
By the way, the forward
After this
by
show, he is going to kill himself.
The forward by Dr. Kevorkian, I thought, was an interesting.
Well, you have to pick the right person to set the tone.
Now, you know what? Of course, if you do die, the book might even sell better.
Maybe you should die.
That's it. Now, Jim, when your wife read, I think one time in my life, I might have said to somebody once in my life that I considered suicide, and I remember them it scares your loved one so much that I was sorry that I said it. I went, no. I said, I contemplated it. Your wife reads it in a book that you're about to sell.
No. It wasn't.
Oh, you told her.
No. What I did was I went home and I wrote. This wasn't intended as a book. This was really as a journal.
Right.
And I showed her that, and that really prompted the discussion because it was difficult for me to tell her. So I told her that way. And this wasn't initially a book. This was just for me. This was a cathartic experience for me. But you know what? The book itself, that dark period sets up the book. But the book itself is not a dark book. It's a book of hope and it's inspirational. I mean, when I left CNN, the reason I left CNN is because when AOL took over Time Warner, I got called to Atlanta, the home office, and they said to me, Jim, you've got 2 shows on the air in L.A. We're canceling them. We want you to anchor the morning news here in Atlanta. And I talked to my boss, and I said, look, my wife and I of 17 years are separated. And my boss closes the door, and he says, listen, Jim, you have a no-cut, no-move contract. I'm not letting you move. No one at the end of your life will care if you have another show on CNN. You go home, and if you can fix this, you fix it. And I made the choice.
So you were separated from your wife, too?
Yeah, I made the choice.
Why didn't you just move to Fiji? That's a good one.
No, because you know what? Honestly, he gave me a gift. I went back home. We just celebrated our 27th anniversary. So I may have given up my career and may have damaged it and caused myself some financial hardship, but I've got my family.
All right. Well, now, Jim, we have been talking about all sorts of stuff here. You covered for CNN, O.J. Simpson and Michael Jackson and the murderers and everything else. And every time we turn around, we mention, Tiger Woods. And I'm going to ask you this. What do you think that the Tiger Woods situation is bigger than any of the other things?
It's bigger than OJ.
Is it bigger than OJ out of the things that you guys?
Is it bigger than U.S. Steel?
No,
that stuff.
It's bigger than U.S. Steel.
Is it bigger?
Who said that? Is that Shuley?
Yes, sir.
Shuley.
I think OJ was the biggest story of all of them in its impact. I think that the Jackson death was, in some ways, not shocking but horribly tragic. And as far as initial ratings, as far as response, Tiger Woods was our biggest story on Inside Edition of the year. Right. But I don't think it has the staying power of those other stories.
OJ was massive. It went on for like a year and a half.
And if you mentioned it on the radio.
And it was a murder.
For years. If you mentioned it on the radio, the phones lit up. I remember going, I'm sorry I said it, because the phones lit up and yelling. By the way, Jim Moret is here. Go to Jim Moret, MORET.com, the chief correspondent for Inside Edition, The Last Day of My Life. And the book is about, I guess, him contemplating the end of his life and then, of course, pulling himself out and seizing the day and getting his life and his family back together. Here's another thing. You are an attorney.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Why wouldn't you just go, I'm going to go to some big law firm? They would love to have Jim Moret, the attorney, work at the law firm. Did you consider that?
Well, I talk for a living. And this is what I do. This is my passion.
Does that mean you flunked the bar or something?
No, I'm still a member of the bar.
Right.
Maybe I'd be a horrible lawyer.
No, look, I'm nothing. So if things go bad for me, I have a real estate license, and that's worthless.
That's worthless.
But if I was an attorney, I would get signed on somewhere, and it'd be fun to get all TV attorneys, by the way, and make a big giant,
but Jay,
firm out of them.
The problem is, for me, the problem was this problem didn't occur when I was out of work, but rather when I had a great job. So that's why I felt like there was no way out. See, I'd made the mistake and waited too long, and everything was fine as far as my job went, but I still couldn't dig out. So becoming an attorney, I'd probably take a pay cut.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I thought when you weren't working for 2 years,
what I did was I did what all of us do. You
sold weed.
You take the side gigs and you do those things and you stay afloat and you do the best you can.
What's the worst job you took when you were out of work those 2 years? Something that you
pushing wheelchairs at the airport?
No, that's what Shuley.
I don't know that
Shuley did that.
I didn't have any. I actually didn't have a worse job. I was able to get great work from different studios and going on these various junkets and doing interviews with celebrities and things like that, and they paid well. It wasn't steady. That was the problem. You didn't know where the next gig was coming from.
We said this earlier. The only guy I know that is really wealthy and doesn't need to, and does jobs that usually people do when they're broke is Jason Alexander, who's now going to do a thing for Jenny Craig after just doing a year for Kentucky Fried Chicken.
To lose weight.
No, you know what? There are just some people. He's not embarrassed, and it's okay for him. He's not embarrassed by anything he does.
He did the pretzels.
That's the truth.
Remember, he did the rolled gold.
He
pretzels?
did the rolled gold, and he does some acting gigs and stuff, and he does the television sitcoms and all. But then, and I know he has every penny he's ever made, he does something like the weight loss that if they came to me, I would lay on my bed and cry for an hour before I took the job.
You did Celebrity Ghost Stories, Jay. You're not much better.
Ouch, that hurt.
I'm sorry.
He's done some good work. Don't pick on him.
You know what, Jim? Thank you very much.
You're
I'll
welcome.
be sure to take this home. JimMurray.com, the last day of my life. Now, a lot of people would say they would drink or get laid or drive fast in their car or whatever. I mean, you would go around and kiss and hug people all day before you left?
Well, but I've driven fast, and
I see.
I've done all that stuff.
You did all that already. So you would go,
I knew that this would be the toughest interview.
No, this isn't a tough interview. You know
this
what?
is a cakewalk.
This is easy.
I know.
Howard would be asking you, who'd you have sex with?
And then I'd have to tell him,
Do
and
you
my wife would be
wipe well?
upset, and
all that.
It'd be horrible.
Yeah,
It'd be
all
horrible.
of that stuff. Yeah, it would be awful.
Do you use wet naps after you make a
they would
poopy?
go in a whole nother. But Jim, you do understand.
No,
like
but do you?
When a tell-all book comes out, like
I don't look
that,
at this as a tell-all. I really don't.
Really?
I look at this as an inspirational book.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a moron. I don't know.
No, you're not a moron. No, you're not. All right. And like Andre Agassi, when he talked about
great
doing
book. I'm reading it now.
crystal meth and Madison's reading it, I thought, gee, the guy's got everything. Why does he need his children to know that he did crystal meth? Are you worried that your kids are going to go, oh, Daddy, this is the more information that we want to know?
TMI.
I've
too
given
much.
this to two of my kids, my 20 and 23-year-old, and they're proud of me, and I know they're going to face troubles, and I want them to know I face troubles, and rather than making that wrong decision, I did the right thing, and that I persevered. That's really my lesson for them. That's the real message of hope for them. Anyway, you know what? I'm getting beefed because I'm scheduled to talk to somebody else now.
Hey, Jim, before you go, real quick, question of the day, Conan or Letterman?
Oh, come on, Julie.
Oh, gosh. Who do I like more?
Yeah.
Conan.
I like them both.
Conan.
Have you heard that Letterman, Leno is going back to the spot? You've heard that?
Yeah,
all right, Jim Murray, thank you. JimMurray.com, and the book is The Last Day of My Life. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Do you want to do a Leno impression before you go?
No.
I'm sorry. Yes, sure. I've left you.
Not bad. Good job.
Wolf Blitzer and Larry King love the book. All right, that's all I had to hear.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
the best, Jim.
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Now, that's as good as a guy writing an inspirational book. That's as good as a guy writes an inspirational book can do.
Jim's
under
on my
these
bowling team, Madison, so why don't you watch your mouth?
See you, buddy.
You know what? I'm over here talking. Is no one not listening? Is anybody listening?
Hey, Jim, if you're still on the line, feed the cats. Oh, did he hang up? Okay.
And the guy is opening his soul up.
He's very nice.
We're beating the crap out of it.
The Last Day of My Life, an inspirational book written by an idiot. That's his words.
Or why I pussed out.
Why I pussed out.
That could be the title.
Morrissey,
also.
your favorite guy, Jay Morrissey,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
he said a few months back that suicide was honorable. And he got a lot of flack for that.
What a douchebag.
Yeah, he really.
Well, wait,
I love the Smiths. The Smiths are one of my favorite bands, but solo Morrissey, he's
Has he
just
ever had
a
anybody in
douchebag.
his family or someone close to him kill themselves?
No,
Do we
but
have
he's
Heidi
probably
Fleiss?
tried.
Oh, my
there's
God.
an audio of Heidi Fleiss saying that she's a fan of abortions, and that got
Abortions! Ow! Rock
Yeah.
and roll!
I saw this episode last night, the new Celebrity Rehab, where she's
on there?
She's on there, and her ex-husband Tom Sizemore, who went to jail for beating her,
Right.
is
Oh,
on
she's
there
a
as
hot
well.
mess.
So she's doing the pre-interview with Dr. Drew, and he says, "Have you ever been pregnant?" And she says, "Yes." And he says,
Numerous times.
And he says, "You got an abortion?" She goes, "If it wasn't for abortions, I'd be a mother of 20."
Right.
You can't have 20 abortions.
I don't think
they
she
won't
had
do
20,
that.
but
Well, you
who
know
knows?
what? I have to tell you something, that in Russia, and it may still be true, there are women in Russia that have used abortion as birth control. Basically,
people here do that.
yeah, but the baby is like, they find out very early, it's, in the very early trimester, and they get DNC or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the audio? What I saw was an English woman. An English woman was interviewing her, or was that a woman that was part of the rehab show?
It might be a woman part of the rehab, but the audio really doesn't do her justice. She is such a disgusting looking woman right now.
Really is.
She's shot so much collagen into her lips that it doesn't work anymore, and everything's just kind of deflated.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks like I don't know, half woman, half ape type of face. I don't know what it is. She's one of the most disturbing looking people I've ever seen.
Well, thank God that she said this. This is what I heard.
Banging her.
Thank God that she didn't have any children, and that's what she was saying. Now, of course, everybody is all upset because she said the word abortion, and I'm you can have, I guess, as many abortions
You can't
as,
even
as
say
you
the
want.
frickin' word rape in 2010. That movie, The Lovely Bones,
Yeah.
which is coming out. That book is about a little girl who gets raped, but Peter Jackson pussed out, and the whole movie now is just about a girl who gets murdered. Just a murder. The whole thing about the book was that she got raped. It was a big part of the book. A 14-year-old raped.
Would you like to change the title to "Somebody Jumped My Lovely Bones"? Would you like to have a title like that?
It's just obnoxious to compromise a book like that
Really?
because of pussy Americans.
I think what she's trying to say is we need to bring rape back.
No, rape is not good.
Oh,
I
that's
think
not what
the
you're
woman
saying?
that
But
wrote
it's a
that book. I think the woman that wrote Lovely Bones, I saw her interviewed when the book was a
That
hit.
book was amazing.
It was terrible.
You're
absolutely.
a man. You're not supposed to
No.
read that.
Can I tell you something? When
Men
let's
gotta
say
learn about rape.
You sit down, you go, let's see.
You
I
know what?
need
You
a
were
new
probably
car.
home crying your eyes out.
No. Let me write about a little girl who's brutally raped and murdered, and she's talking from the other side, and let me make a bunch of money
It's very
off
touching.
of. Oh, baloney! It's just people making money off of misery. That's all it is. It's like these every movie that Mel Gibson's in, his daughter is either murdered or kidnapped. Okay,
well, he's an
he's got a
anti-Semite.
new one out there where the daughter is murdered. He did the kidnap thing. How do you write if you have children? How do your fingers type that a child is brutally murdered or kidnapped or
Look,
whatever?
I don't know.
To
All
make
I know
money?
is it was
Jesus.
a popular book. I thought I'd read it. I cried and cried and cried, and then I felt really good.
Hey,
Let's
did
listen
you,
to
did
the
you see the
clip.
Did you
What?
see the porn version of that movie, The Lovely Bone Lickers? Did you see that? Thank you.
What about just the lovely boners?
Boy, I'm glad Jim Murray's not here. All right. Let's listen to the clip, and then, of course, we'll come back, and we'll talk to all of you. Tara Patrick will be here. She has a book.
Speaking of
Sinner,
Lovely Bones.
Sinner Takes All, a memoir of love and porn.
I might
That's
have to
coming
leave
up.
for that.
Do we have Heidi Fleiss talking?
No, I don't. I hope I never have babies. That would kill me because I'd be every minute. Is the baby okay? Is the baby? I worry too much. Have babies. I've never had kids. Thank God for abortion. My God. You know. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I wouldn't be a good mother. You know. I shouldn't have kids. Not so noisy, boys. I can't hear Heidi talk.
Now, for those
I
who
think
don't
she
know
was
this,
being a little cheeky.
But that
Heidi
wasn't-
Fleiss's father has been a famous pediatrician in Los Angeles.
Get out of here.
And a guy that tells you how to raise children.
Wow.
And when my kids were little, my wife went, and you both will learn this one day, you interview pediatricians, right?
Yes, yes.
And doctors. And she came home. I didn't even know who Heidi Fleiss was, and she wasn't even famous then. My wife came home and said, I just interviewed with this so-called, incredible pediatrician, and I just didn't buy into where this guy was going, and so we're not going to him. And now that's just our one little opinion, but I'm going to tell you that he is the daddy, is the famous, guy that tells people how to raise their kids. And then her brother is the big, he produced Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire, by the way. And then all these other,
What a family.
reality shows on TV. So there, you don't want to blame everything on the parents or whatever's happening, but you gotta Something had to be going on there, you know, something a little bit has to be going. You know what makes me mad? If one of my kids goes completely nuts, am I going to be blamed for it? And I think if one of my kids goes,
Yeah.
I'm going to write a book. Don't
you had
blame me.
raised him
He was
properly,
an
he wouldn't
asshole
become a
when he was a
lunatic.
kid. I'm writing that book.
That's because you did something wrong.
He was a jerk when he was a kid. That's what the book I'd write. You know, there's a woman out there who wrote a book that her son's a drug addict and everything else. And he's written a book saying that's a lie. It's I forget so they're battling and he says that's not me. And the mother says, yes, it is. And so they're battling back and forth. And, you know, people that write tell-all books, people that put their kids down, people that are experts at child rearing and are uppity and all that kind of nonsense, you're setting yourself up for one of your kids to completely screw up your life. Absolutely. You never hear me say, I always say my children are horrible so that if they do something, I say, well, I told you so.
Expect the worst. That way you're pleasantly surprised.
Gosh darn it. You know, there's so many books here. They're just flying out of us.
Yeah.
All right. Tara Patrick's coming up in a few minutes. I haven't the faintest idea what's next, but we'll think of something. Tara Patrick, the porn star, who I guess is still giving sex advice on the Playboy channel, right? Or whatever. She has a book. Sinner Takes All, a memoir of love and porn. There better be pictures in it, I can tell you that. Lots of pictures.
I hear it's a scratch and sniff.
Have you ever met her, Shuli?
I met her once.
No, I dated a different Asian whore.
Where did you meet her? Where did you meet Tara Patrick?
Where did I meet her?
Madison. Madison.
Oh, here in the elevator. She was very nice. She
very sweet.
Commented
Wonderful.
on my purse.
Wow, wonderful.
She said you have a very nice purse.
Ira the weatherman is just in the studio.
Jay.
And
Good morning,
Shuli
Ira
didn't
the
even
weatherman.
write that out.
you.
Shuli didn't even write that out.
He loves purse stories.
Happy New Year,
that's
Ira.
great.
Ira, well, I'll tell you, we certainly have missed you. We're glad you're back.
Thank you, Jay.
Where was he?
Well, I did. Did you go on vacation, or did you just hang around the city for the
I
holidays?
hanged around the city.
You hanged around. That would be kind of like you were at the end of a rope. I hanged.
Do you ever go on
hung
vacation,
around.
Ira? Somewhere warm? Like older people go to Florida.
Well, good thing.
Never went to Florida.
Oh,
he's a
Never went to
young
Florida.
dude.
Now, Ira, when it's late night television, do you watch this Jay Leno?
Jay Leno, he's for the pits.
He's a pit.
He's horrible.
Conan O'Brien or David Letterman? Who do you watch?
David Letterman.
Ugh.
Oh, you watch David Letterman. See that? And what made do you?
Who says that show's for old people?
Yeah. What do you like about David Letterman?
David
What do you
Letterman,
like?
he's marvelous.
No, he's not.
Wonderful. You
He's
like him
excellent.
because he likes me, don't you, Ira?
Well, he's great.
Yeah. Okay.
I like how when we were in the green
Jay
room.
Leno, he's better than Conan
No.
O'Brien.
I like how when we were in the green room, we had to shut the door so we couldn't look at him.
Can't look at him.
That was my
When
favorite
he leaves the
part.
studio.
You should be on TV.
Really?
Yeah. That was your best
America's Most
performance.
Wanted.
I should be on a lot of stuff. I should probably be be getting the needle right now. I should be doing
I don't know
something.
why you don't get calls after every Letterman appearance, like,
He
offering
does.
you
Just don't come back.
sitcoms and
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I gotta say this again.
We've all wondered that.
Conan is Latin for garbage.
I didn't know that.
thanks, Shuli.
The last,
Set me.
your last appearance on.
Forsooth, take the Conan out. Take out thy Conan. Ipsiam, no, in Latin, I'll say it in Latin. Ipsiam de delirium conam. That means take the garbage out in Latin. I didn't think that my Jesuit education would ever,
I had
be
to take
needed like
Latin,
it is
too.
now. So, yeah, go ahead, Shuli. My last appearance,
I
you
was
were
just
going to
gonna say
give
your
me a
last
compliment. I want to hear it.
appearance. Yes, you.
Yes, thank you, Shuli.
You were not only the greatest guest, and let me tell you something.
What
You
a
could have
trombone player you are, too.
Thank you. You could have easily taken a back seat to Alec Baldwin, but you blew his portly ass off that stage.
Oh my God, I never got to tell about what happened in the green room.
This is a true story. You're
This
going
is
to
a
hear.
great story.
And
I wish I was in the green room for
Who
this.
was with you in the green room?
Your son?
Your son. Me and
Which
your
one?
son sitting in the green. JT.
JT was
And
there.
we're sitting there, and there's a whole table of snacks, and they're delicious snacks.
No, this is a true story.
And, there's an Asian lady and her daughter who's too young to be there, in my opinion. There was a lot of inappropriate stuff. Then there's like two really attractive women. Then there's me and JT. Alec Baldwin comes in, looks at us.
Hi.
No, he doesn't say hi.
I know, I'm just
He looks through us, puts his back to us, sits his ass on the food table. Every time I wanted a slice of cheese, my hand grazed his ass. Every time. And your son actually said something to him, and Alec didn't respond. When you were on, and we were trying to listen to you, Alec was talking the whole time, hitting on this one woman like you wouldn't believe.
Well, tell him how he hit on her.
I really wanted to say, look, I'm trying to watch my friend up here. Pipe down. But of course I didn't. It was Alec Baldwin. And I love Alec Baldwin. I watched 30 Rock. I'm a huge fan. I was extremely offended. I thought he was very obnoxious.
And he said he was using old pickup lines, like one of the lines he said.
JT heard that. I didn't hear any of that.
Well, JT told me one of the lines he said, Alec goes to the woman, "Do you work for UPS? 'Cause I've been watching you check out my package."
No!
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He didn't
No,
say that.
he did not.
I wish you were a door. I would bang you all day long.
No, but
Either she was his guest
Are you
or a
Jamaican?
friend or something.
No,
But
had.
let me tell you something.
Give-
the look
give him
on
the
his
lines,
face,
please.
the look on his face. He came in, he surveyed the room. He wasn't interested in any of us. He didn't say hello all, nothing. He glanced, he turned, he sat in front of everyone. You put your you don't sit on a table.
You don't sit on a cheese
don't
platter,
sit
Baldwin.
on a table.
And then he told the woman, he says, "Do you live in the area?"
Oh,
and then she said something, and he goes, "Rent or own?"
Right.
Rent
No,
or
but didn't he?
own?
Madison, it's your story, but you're not telling it.
No, because I was listening to you and laughing very
No, but
loudly
didn't he say-
to piss him off.
No, but didn't he say that he wanted to take the woman away with him?
That I did not hear. No, you're going to have to ask JT. I'm not going to lie here.
JT said.
JT exaggerated. JC started to talk to him, and I wanted to nudge your son and be like, not now. He's in the middle.
said-
JT interrupted, and he's like, something, Mr. Baldwin.
JT said.
Mr. Baldwin
said, "I'm off for 5 weeks. I'd like to take you off with me."
Oh.
And the woman said, she nodded and whatever. Then he said, "Own or rent?" And she said, "Well, I don't know." And he kept saying, "Own or rent?" And so it was really weird.
She was
But you
very
and JT
attractive.
are exactly alike. The reason why you want to be in the green room is you want to meet people. And what's really odd is his brother.
That's
what's
not
the
why I
one-
wanted to be in the green room.
Who's
I wanted
Steven?
to be in the green room because of the food, Jay.
No,
Steven,
it's not
his
true.
brother Steven was there, right?
He was friendly, though.
And Steven was looking through the crack in the door. Is he the one that declared bankruptcy?
No, he's the one. Oh, maybe he did, but I know he's the one who made the skateboarding Jesus videos.
He's into Jesus, and so is his brother, right? Daniel and Steven. They're
Well,
both
Daniel was into crack for a little while.
Yeah,
and, usually following crack
I
or
was
heroin comes Jesus.
Very disappointed with Alec. I thought maybe he'd walk in and be like, "Hey, everybody."
Have you never read anything about him?
No,
no. You can
that is
truly
kind of
believe he's a terrific actor.
Terrific.
But he is he's a pontificator.
But just the fact that a grown man sits on a table in front of everyone, blocking
Then he touched all the food.
Well,
oh, yes! I forgot about that. He did.
You're like the worst storyteller.
No, he didn't. I'm
Jesus.
sorry. No. It was another guy. It was a producer. This was a few weeks ago. A producer came in and touched every apricot in the bowl. It was a plate of apricots and nuts and pita chips. He put his hand in there. One of the
Nuts.
with a techie, not a techie, what do you call a grip or something? Walked in, put his hand in the pot of apricots. I don't want apricot. No, I don't want a nut. No, I don't want that. No, and he took out a pita
Touched
chip.
everything. And then Alex Baldwin's ass was by the
Alec Baldwin's
the plate of
ass
cheese.
was. I mean, it was ass cheese. Right.
I don't ever eat in the green
I should
room.
have touched his ass and said, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Baldwin. I
But
wanted
listen,
a piece of cheese."
Shuli, my son JT and Madison, the two biggest star fuckers that ever walked in the
bite it.
They were so excited that this
I gave him a dirty
idiot,
look.
this pontificating idiot is there who doesn't care about anybody but himself.
You ain't lying.
And what's weird about
And
listen,
it pained him to congratulate you at the end. I saw
all of it. I know all
him
of it.
because
How about
Steven was like, "Great job, ba ba ba," right? And Alec was like,
And you know, I think he's really terrific, but he does play an asshole very well.
Oh.
And sometimes people aren't acting.
Right.
And they're able to act naturally and be mean or even.
That's like everybody said Jerry Lewis's greatest role was in The King of Comedy, where he
maybe
played,
that was who he really was.
where he played himself, basically.
Now here's the strange
"What
thing.
about
There is
Lucille
a
Ball?
guy.
Wasn't she known as kind of a crazy bitch?"
Who?
Lucille Ball,
She was meaner than hell.
right?
How about Jackie Gleason?
She was
Son of a
meaner
bitch.
than hell.
too.
Total son of a bitch also. Yeah.
Crazy
Lucille
bitch,
Ball was,
that Gleason.
but they would always go, but you know, they were perfectionists. And I'm thinking, yeah, but they didn't have to be perfectionists. They would have been incredibly funny and beloved.
Yeah.
Instead, anybody that ever worked with them always said, Jesus, it was a friggin' nightmare.
How about that Esther Roll? What a super freak.
No,
Remember her?
she was a doll.
a maniac.
What about the woman that played Fred Sanford's sister-in-law? That woman. But
Is there one?
there is a guy, yes, Aunt Esther.
That
so
Shirley
there was
Hemphill was a motherfucker. I'll tell you.
there was a guy.
She
Charlotte
looked like
Ray.
one.
There is a
Charlotte
guy.
Ray was a drunk bitch.
Her and Kim Fields. What a.
Would you please say you're kidding, please?
Yes, we're just.
What about that Nell Carter?
These are all jokes, by the way.
Right, they're all jokes.
No, but he was douche. I was very offended by it. People don't sit on tables. You don't sit on a table. That's something you learn in summer camp.
All right,
Tables
all right.
are
You
for
know what?
eating, not sitting.
You are the
I'm
worst
sorry.
storyteller.
No, I'm
Tell
sorry.
the basics of the story.
The story was your son's. It wasn't mine. I didn't
All right.
hear anything he said to that woman.
Can I just say one
you
thing?
You should have asked
Well,
JT.
Madison-
Everybody
JT
shut
is
up.
also an exaggerator.
Everybody shut up.
Your boy is an exaggerator.
You guys, you you shut up too, you crazy weather guy. A
Jay,
guy. What?
listen to this.
What?
Anytime you don't
is
want
it?
somebody to sit on a table,
What do you do?
come over to 7th
You know, it just doesn't even make sense anymore.
Steve,
That was the
Steve.
best
and
plug
Mr.
ever.
Angelo,
Makes
and
sense.
Sawyer, and little baby Eleanor.
What does
Right.
baby Eleanor have to do with any
Baby
of this?
Eleanor's 22 by now.
All right,
by the way.
listen. There's a guy in a hospital room, and it's new. I guess it's not New Year's Eve. It's the 23rd of December, and Sean or Garrett lead us through. Somebody sent me this video of a guy reviewing the Late Show with David Letterman the night I was on it from his hospital room. Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah, he's got his camera.
What's wrong with the guy? Why is he in the hospital?
I don't know, but he looks
Okay.
like he's been there for a while.
We've got a guy in his hospital suit, and we were sent this video. I apologize. I don't know who the person is that sent it, but it's not the guy, but it's somebody that knows him or knows of him. This guy is in a hospital, and this is him reviewing my appearance on David Letterman.
Jay Thomas, the best thing on the show, the story he told about he and another guy years ago taking around Clayton Moore on this press thing, and then finally, at the end of the night, they had to drive him back to the Red Carpet Inn or whatever it was, the place where he was staying, and he was dressed in the Lone
This guy
Ranger
tells a
outfit,
story as well
mask
as
and everything.
Madison.
They put him in the
Fuck
back
you.
of an old Volvo.
You got to bring
Drove
this
him
guy
home.
with you. Next
Traffic was horrible in New York, and
Tell a better story.
all of a sudden they stopped at a stoplight
Oy.
and were there for a long time. And then finally this guy just got mad and he revved up his car in back of them and smashed into Jay's car. Then the guy backed up and tried to get away.
How many views does this have?
Thomas tries to chase him. Now, he had mentioned that he and his friend were herbed up. Why can't you say you just smoked grass? We were herbed up. Guess that's humor. Anyway,
Oh, I can't watch
they
this.
chase the guy who had hit them. Finally, they get near him, and he pulls over. Jay Thomas and his friend jump out of the car. The guy says, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "You just hit my car." He said, "What are you going to do about it?" He said, "We're going to call the cops." He said, "And what are the cops going to do when they see you two bozos?"
No.
He said, well. And about that time, Clayton Moore got out of the car dressed as the Lone Ranger and walked over and said, "You won't have a problem now, citizen."
No.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That was the funniest
Oh my God,
story.
he was waiting outside
Then
the studio for
Bloviator
an
came
autograph.
on. Remember
The
that's what they
Bloviator.
used to call Alec Baldwin?
This is the guy in the hospital
in New
gown.
York, the Bloviator. Well, he was on talking about the movie that he does with Meryl Streep and Steve Martin. Basically, Alec Baldwin was really dull. Even Letterman wasn't funny during this segment. The best thing that we learned from Alec Baldwin was that he had a butt double because he has to show his ass during the movie. So if you go see that movie, it's complicated, whatever it is. That's not his ass that you're seeing. You're seeing
Thanks
a
for the
butt
heads up.
double.
What's he in the hospital for? He doesn't sound
Are
sick.
you watching this,
He said it was sort of funny
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Baldwin said that if we make a sequel to it, it was suggested that maybe he and Steve Martin should have a gay relationship, and then they could call the movie "It's Really Complicated." Anyway,
so that's the
This
guy.
is so sad, Jay. This is like the people who wait outside the Letterman studio.
No, but you know
for an
what?
autograph.
The guy is apparently in the hospital for some length of time. He's in the gown, and it's not a setup. Do they say that? Is there a name under the?
Yeah,
under
it's
the
called
video?
Tom and the
It's
Tumor
creepy,
Review
man.
TV.
Oh, he's got a
Okay.
tumor.
I don't
Some
know.
sort. Try and
kidding
contact this guy. And I don't know how many hits they've gotten, but they can we go to jthomas.com?
You really want him as a guest? I mean,
Oh, that guy's fascinating.
Oh, he's got a hospital gown on.
doesn't the show suck enough
Without him. Thanks.
without having that guy?
Well, we'll find out.
He also writes poems.
Wait a minute, hold it. Everybody be really quiet. He writes what?
Poems.
Poems.
Hi,
You mean,
you've reached
isn't that
Garrett. Nobody's poem. Leave a message.
Isn't that stuff you drink? POMS. That pomegranate juice. Poems. He writes poems.
Poems.
I love you, and to show you how much I love you, I wrote a poem.
You know what, Garrett? Would you please?
Pomegranate.
I read Carl Sandburg's. I read two of his poems. I read Chicago, and I read The Fog.
I thought you hated poetry.
I love it.
Really?
Good poetry. Good poetry. I love. I'd like Garrett as your penance for saying poems. I'd like you to get Carl Sandburg. I'd like you to read a little poetry before the day is over. All right?
Not this guy's poetry?
Oh, do you have his poetry?
Let's hear a little.
Oh, God, I didn't know that. Put some poetry music on, and let's let Garrett read a poem. I can't even say it.
Though.
Poem, like a tome.
Poem.
A poem.
Poem?
Don't read all of it. Just read some of it till we get sick.
Does it rhyme?
What is its iambic pentameter? Is it ABAB or is it AB
That's only
ABC
Shakespeare.
AB? Go ahead.
Okay, this is Recalling a Rainforest in the Olympic Peninsula.
All right.
A small road, a tiny artery, snaking through lavish, luxuriant greenery. Semi-darkness even in daylight. In the tranquil silence of this hallowed place, birds engaged in symposia regarding worms, the kids, the fleetingness of life, the trees, sage-like elders, guarding this sacred world. A rabbit seeking a hat to leap from wrinkles its nose. A fox flips its red bushy tail seductively.
Right.
A ladybug lands on a fern, bestowing luck upon the plant. Everywhere, nature continues its business, and I, helpless, can only observe. During my temporary transit, perceiving the love and care with which it was constructed.
Wonderful. All you're missing is the helmet. the helmet of one of those kids that falls down a lot in school. Now that's a poem by the guy who's in the hospital, who watched the David Letterman Late Show with me on it and all that. Yes, Ira, go ahead.
Jay, he ain't no E.E. Cummings.
Good one, Shuli.
Very good.
That was Sean, actually.
That was very good. Joseph of San Francisco, the Jay Thomas Show.
Garrett
Lowercase double E's, Sean?
Yes, yeah.
Jay, Garrett's mouth should be in the hospital.
That was mine.
Joseph of San Francisco, how are you? Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Jay.
Yeah.
I was just calling you I met Alec Baldwin down in Southern California about 2 years ago, and he was cool.
He
was nice to you.
Class.
Whoa. Now, and when you say, did you go up and say, I'm a fan, and he shook your hand and he was kind to you?
No, we were just in line looking at the same product, and I was like, damn, that's Alec Baldwin, and he looked, and he's like, yes, it is. And
What product? What product were you looking at?
Oh, we were at the Slauson swap meet.
What?
Swap meet.
Yeah, you're at the slot. This was before?
You and Alec Baldwin were at the swap meet.
Was this before or after you guys hung out at the Crenshaw street races?
Hey, but
and did you just leave the farmer's market and you went over to the swap meet, did you? You and Alec?
Out in Inglewood?
No, it just happened to, hello?
Yeah. I'm listening. We are absolutely listening to this one. He was at the Slauson swap meet, and are you positive it was Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how do you miss him? I mean,
You sure it wasn't the Fox Hills Mall you were at?
No.
Right.
Hey, but you know who was it, Dick? Was that dude Martin Cove? You know him, Jay, right?
Who is
Martin
it?
Cove?
Yeah, I know who Martin Cove is. Was he at the swap meet also?
No. I met him at Bruner's a few years back. But he was a dick. I mean, do you remember him? Have you ever met him?
No, I don't know Martin Cove, but I haven't been to a swap meet in years, so I don't, Now, did Alec buy anything at the swap meet? Did he purchase something?
We were looking at a realistic stereo, those ones.
You're too much. Wow, look at this.
Should I believe this story?
Ira has a poem.
Roses are red.
Yes.
Fighters are blue.
Right.
Jay Leno sucks, but the Seven Seas does not.
Joseph of San Francisco, thank you very much. Let's go to Pedro of New York City. Yes, Pedro. Tara Patrick is on the way. She has actually written a memoir, Love and Porn, coming up.
Jay,
yes,
I'm a poet, and I don't know it.
That was ad-lib.
But your feet show it. They're Longfellows. Pedro of New York City. Yes, go ahead, Pedro.
¿Cómo está, Pedro?
Madison. Jay, dímelo, hermano. Yo, Madison is so fucking hot. Every time I see her, I want to fuck the shit out of her, bro.
Are you just
what a
saying
good guy.
Are you just saying that?
Nice, Pedro.
Are you just saying that because you need a green card, Pedro?
No, and some money and shit too, and all that.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So that's what a wonderful opening. I'm surprised you don't meet as many women as Alec Baldwin meets.
City,
Yeah.
come on.
Are you sitting near some cheese right now, Pedro? Is your ass near some cheese and some dried fruit?
Can you rub your hands on some apricots?
No, I'm looking at Madison on Facebook and looking at her pictures and, grabbing myself and all that because I love her like that.
Thank you. How big is your junk?
Oh, no, I don't have it too big. It's just regular size and everything. But I give it to you very good,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Sí, habla español.
Pues claro que sí.
Un poquito.
Un poquito. I will give it to Madison bien duro.
Be good now. Be good. Otherwise.
All right, Pedro. Thank you very much.
What are the odds I can get him to read Spanish?
Let's go now to Alec Baldwin before we go away. And when we come back, Tara Patrick will be here, and we'll find out if she wrote it longhand or typed it herself, or was it told to somebody. Yes, Alec. Go ahead, Alec. Alec Baldwin.
isn't a swap meet, a gay club down on Melrose.
Okay, that's the end of this segment. And stay where you are because we're coming back. If you go to jthomas.com, you'll have a link to the guy who is in the hospital for whatever and reads poems and then reviews me on Late Show with David Letterman. And we got some gals there. You see these gals on the thing. Tara Patrick will be here in a few minutes. She's the porn star. I actually met her backstage one morning.
Very
going
nice,
into,
right?
To the Howard Stern show. Yeah, she had the husband with all the tattoos.
Evan Seinfeld from
Can't believe
Biohazard.
those kooky kids didn't make it.
Oh.
Jay, as I was telling you, next Friday is one of the biggest days for me.
Why don't you get close to that mic, Ira? You're a fan of radio.
Is it your 75th?
Ira, what's the announcement?
My birthday is going to be next week.
I knew it. Exactly.
Your birthday is next week. Next Friday is your birthday?
Yes.
We are going
how
to
many
have
years young.
You know what? Ira the Weatherman.
No, he doesn't
birthday.
bring us shit from the Seven Seas.
Right.
We're not bringing him anything.
I think he brought you some day-old stuff.
He brought us day-old watery Bialys.
You know what? We will have a little... What's your favorite flavor of a cake, Ira the Weatherman?
Vanilla.
All right, we'll have a vanilla cake.
Strawberry shortcake.
All right.
Madison, you're the gal. Why don't you get us a little cupcake, a little vanilla cupcake for Ira?
Do your little
for
gal
next week.
thing and get us a cake.
By the way, reports...
I will be...
Yeah.
Just like somebody used to say, 39 years old.
I see. You don't want to say that you get older than 39. Jack Benny, the old comedian. Said
That is right.
I don't know why that was funny then. I don't know why we would think it was funny now. Gary Coleman
He was 39 every year.
Gary Coleman?
No. Now, Gary Coleman has been hospitalized in Los Angeles. I'm out here in California.
What is his diagnosis? Is he a midget, a dwarf?
He had a
or none of the
slight
above?
seizure. He had a slight seizure.
No. Why is he small?
He's a midget.
No, I don't think he is.
Or a mascot.
He doesn't have the midget head.
Something with his kidneys.
Some with his kidneys. He grew backwards. Yeah.
His parents.
Like Benjamin Button?
Something like that. No, he's ill. And it didn't grow. The, of course, Different Strokes star had a slight seizure and collapsed. But I guess he's doing fine. Now, how tall is he? How tall is he?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe 5 feet. Oh.
So it wasn't a long fall.
Oh, God, no. He's
Wasn't
not
a long
that
fall.
tall, Shuli.
I heard he was skipping over a straw and he...
What he was
4'7".
really...
No way.
He is demanding that an unauthorized scene be taken out of the movie Midgets versus Mascots. And he had come to Los Angeles, and there's a wardrobe malfunction in the film itself. And either his midget or his mascot comes out of the bathroom. He is so upset about it, he wants it taken out of the movie.
His penis is showing?
And perhaps, I have no idea, and perhaps he became, so upset by it that a seizure was brought on.
Oh.
I don't know. So our prayers go out for Gary Coleman.
little prayers.
Garrett looked behind him and behind me in the studio here, and he said, "There's Gary Coleman." It was exciting. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He was wearing Crocs.
So
baby
Gary
Crocs.
Coleman collapsed. Now, you would imagine Gary Coleman would be the next spokesman for Jenny Craig, not Jason Alexander. It's like he puts himself in that league when he signs with it's odd to me.
Gary Coleman needs a good comeback. He needs to do maybe Dancing with the Stars.
I can barely walk.
Was he really a security guard at a mall?
Yeah.
There's legendary
And he was so
footage
cute.
of that.
He was so talented as a child.
These two guys, man, these two dudes, they would sound like they're baked the whole time, and he wanted them to get out of this parking lot, and they wouldn't leave, and he started, getting pretty forceful with them, so they started videotaping him, and then he decides he can't beat these guys up, so what does he do? He lays on the hood of their car, and they're like, and the guys are like, Gary Coleman's on the hood of our car, man. And he's like, I'm not getting off. I'm not moving. I'm waiting for
now,
the police to
that
get
would
here.
be a funny reality show because you've got,
How about
Steven
you partner
Seagal.
him up with Seagal? You make him his partner.
Oh, Seagal takes himself so seriously. Are you kidding?
He could pull Gary Coleman out of his holster. Like at a traffic stop. He spins Gary Coleman like a 6-shooter.
I like
Talks like a black guy when he pulls him out, you know? Hey, everybody freeze right there.
The other night, we are in California. We are $20 billion in
Right
debt.
now in California, Jay, it's around 54 degrees.
Thank you very much,
on a
Ara.
beautiful sky.
Thank you, Ara, the weatherman. Thank you. He'll be 39 next Friday. And so the other night, everybody wanted to hear what the governor was going to say. I have a kid that's in public high school, and you're worried to cut everything, the music, the art, the teachers are getting fired. So you
No
tune
more
in,
homo stuff in school.
and this guy, the governor of California, they keep saying what a great businessman he was, and
thank you.
He made millions of dollars, in these movies, right?
Yes.
That somebody wrote and directed. And I think in Conan, they dubbed his voice out. And Stacy Keach or somebody did his voice in Conan the Barbarian or whatever it was. He's this big Austrian weightlifter, this big right-wing Austrian weightlifter married to a skeleton head. And I don't know why they thought he should have been the governor.
Give these people air.
This sounds like a joke.
What?
Air. Give these people air.
This is his State of the State speech about our financial problems the other night.
Now, I want to begin with a true story from which we can draw a worthwhile lesson.
Who here hates Jews?
As you may
Raise your
guess, the
hands.
Schwarzenegger household is something of a menagerie.
Menage
An
a trois.
Austrian bodybuilder, a TV journalist, 4 children, a dog, a normal goldfish, a hamster, and so forth.
A
In
lamb
recent
shaved
years,
with
we added a
juice.
miniature pony and a pot-bellied pig. Now, it's not unusual for me to look up from working on a budget on something and to find the pig and the pony standing right there in front of me and staring at me.
But enough about Maria.
Now, the dog's food, which we keep in a canister with a screwed-on lid, sits on top of the dog's kennel. The pony has now learned how to knock the canister off the top of the kennel.
Can you believe
and
this?
then
The
he
pony
and
is
the pig
learning.
wedges it into the corner. Now there's this ridge.
The
on
pony
lid
is
of the
alive.
canister, and the pig with his snout pushes this ridge around and around until it loosens up.
That's right.
And then
Pigs have
they roll the
snouts.
canister around on the floor until the food all spills out. And then, of course, they go to town and they eat it. Now, I have no idea how they ever figured all this out, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's like humans figuring out how to create fire. But it is the greatest example of teamwork, and I love it. It's about teamwork. So one lesson to draw from the pig and the pony story is of what we can accomplish when we work together.
Are you kidding?
And last year, we here in this room did some great, great work together. And we had a pig and a pony year. And I want to make sure now
fuck is
that
he
before
talking
some reporters write that I
complete
compared
idiot.
the legislators with pigs and ponies, that is not the message.
Now everyone join me in
The
Old
message is about
McDonald's.
working together, teamwork.
All right. Thank
Together.
you. This went on
So
for
bad for him.
Good afternoon, humans.
Why did people,
and Jews.
Jay? Why did people vote for him?
ladies and Udens.
Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper now.
It was like a German impersonator of Christopher Walken, So he says nothing, and he's the lame duck, governor. He's out of here. And
Oh, he is?
yeah, he's gone. He can't run again. And he's out. And I mean, I got to tell you, people keep going, oh, you're worried about the United States and the bombs. I'm worried about this idiot.
They're on the inside already.
Are you
Wait, when
kidding?
does the new governor start?
They're going to have an
Never.
election.
Oh,
we run every
next year.
year.
Next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, he's in for a year.
He's got
Speaking
one
of
more
lame
year.
duck, they got knocked over the food too.
But he said nothing. Says absolutely nothing. We're all sitting there and he's talking about the duck and the thing and the pig and the horse and the...
Who here
you know.
is in media? Put these pajamas on and follow me.
We ought to run Ira for something, Jesus Christ. Let's go to Matt of Niagara Falls. Yes, Matt, the Jay Thomas Show with Schuling and Madison. We're waiting for Tara Patrick, who has written a fabulous tell-all book. Matt, do you think after you hear the interview, you'll be inclined to buy the Tara Patrick book?
Oh, probably not. I don't like reading.
You don't like
just
reading?
I just like to say what Pedro said to Madison was inappropriate.
Oh.
I agree with you.
I'd like to put it in her ass and fuck the shit into her.
Oh.
I've already done that.
Aren't you nice? Aren't you nice?
Be
not
good
much of a
now,
reader, huh, Matt?
Be good.
Not much of a reader.
Can you tell Matt's not much of a reader?
That part
folks?
was true.
Yeah. All right, Matt.
Garrett's
thanks a lot.
watching porn here, by the way, and I'm getting a little
Bob,
turned on.
Chicago, the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Bob. How are you?
Hey, turn that off.
Chicago.
Give him the weather, would you please?
Town.
Give him the weather.
All right, you're here to do weather.
The weather in Chicago is 19 degrees.
Wow.
He's right on. He's right on.
Can I
two
ask a
things really
question,
fast.
Bob? Before you ask your question, I have lived all over the country. Never lived in Chicago, but I lived in New York. I've lived in Boston. I've lived everywhere. And one day I woke up and I said, I never want to be cold again, ever, as long as I live. And I moved away. I came to California.
But it gets chilly there.
And I decided no matter what I'm giving up financially or whatever, it's not worth to wake up and have to put, like electrical tape in your ass to keep it from freezing over. What keeps you in that place, Bob?
Yeah, but
Chicago?
Jay, it's cold.
Can Bob answer the question, please?
I got a lot of family here. That's the only thing that keeps me here.
It's a great
when they all
city.
die off, I'm out of here.
So you're waiting for your entire family to die?
Just my mom and dad.
How old are they, your parents?
My mother's in her late 50s. My father just turned 60. But my father had a stroke. My father had a stroke when he was 49.
So one may be on the one foot in the grave, the other in a banana peel. You might have one about to go.
Yeah.
I see. Why don't you move them to a warm? Doesn't have to be California, but why don't you?
They're not going anywhere.
They won't leave.
They love
either.
it here. No.
Why
They love
don't you
it.
move them to the Bronx?
No, that's not a good idea. That's not a good
Yeah, punish
Hey, you
them.
know what?
No
Bob,
warmer.
move them to the Bronx and just have them go outside a lot, and their lives will probably end a lot more quickly in the neighborhood. So Bob, I don't want to advocate the death of your parents. I just wanted to know, and it's because of your mom and dad.
You gave
Bob,
me a great idea, Jay. You gave me a great idea. I think I'm going to take them to the Bronx Zoo and just leave them there.
just leave them at the zoo.
No, leave them at the Seven Seas.
All right. Would you be quiet with that?
Hey,
Go ahead,
Two
Bob.
things really fast.
Sure.
I want to cockblock Pedro. He was out with Lori from the Stern or Mutt show last night trying to hook up with her, Madison, so don't even give him the time of day.
Okay. You know what? I'm good to go in a very secure relationship. It's all good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Now, my second thing, Shula, you gave me a great idea for a movie remake with Gary Coleman and Beetlejuice, a remake of Dumb and Dumber, the black version.
I like it.
You know, Bob, after talking to you a few minutes, I wish you would die. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
What?
What do you mean?
None of this is interesting. It's not well thought out.
To you.
Yeah, to me it isn't.
Ira's
I love the idea of the movie.
You see, you know what? I don't know everything, do I? So, all right, Bob. Thank you, Bob of Chicago.
See you, Bobby.
Waiting for his parents to die. Is Tara Patrick ready to go? We have Tara Patrick. Do you have a theme song or anything that you'd like us to play? Something?
No.
Hey, Tara, Jay Thomas, how are you?
Hi.
How are you? Did you just wake up? You just all cuddly and warm right now?
No, I'm wide awake.
You devil. Madison is here with me and Shuli's here. We met, actually. I was going to do Howard's show one morning. You were back there with Tattoo Man backstage, and I met you. What happened to that marriage? What the hell? You kids were kissing and hugging, and you were sitting on his lap, and I turned to Sean Kelly, and I said, you and I have been married a long time, and we never do this with our wives. And here are these two crazy kids. They've been through everything, and look at them. They're sitting there hugging and kissing. When did the hugging and kissing stop, Tara? When did it end?
Oh, no, we just decided to separate. We grew apart, so, it's all good.
It's all good that you grew apart? I don't get that. Why don't you fight for
She's come to terms.
Why didn't you fight for the marriage?
No, she's right. I came to terms with it.
divorce is not easy, but, I think I'm better off anyway. It was a liberating split.
Tara, do you think the fact that you guys were doing films together and that you guys had a pretty, pretty fun lifestyle, do you think it's like, where do you go from there? You guys kind of hit the limit?
You know what they say, never fuck where you eat.
Actually, that's the name of one of her movies, and I love that movie.
Isn't that what they say about business? You're not supposed to sleep with people at work, Tara.
Well, some people do, Jay, and some people end up marrying them.
Right.
I like her.
Thank you. I met you once in the elevator here, and you were very nice to me.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't I be nice to you?
I don't know, because you're
Tara
hot.
Patrick has written Center Takes All, a memoir of love and porn. And so what are we, when people read the book, what are they going to get from this thing? What are they going to glean from your...
What's it all about?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they get horny.
It's a horny book. Are there pictures?
No.
Because we had a guy call up and say he wasn't a big reader, and then he talked to us for a few minutes, and we could tell he wasn't a big reader. Are there pictures in the book, Tara?
And are the pictures Scotch guarded?
Oh, good.
There
Good.
are
Pictures. Good. Okay.
I think that but it says it's a memoir. It's a tell-all.
Yeah.
Just give us a couple of stories that would cause people to go to Amazon.com and just start buying it.
Well, I talk about my divorce in the book, and I talk about, just being in the business for 10 years, and I talk about some stories on the set, and I talk about just how I got into the industry, which is pretty much what everybody wants to know, and I talk about my childhood. I talk about everything. It's basically my entire life. So it's a good read. It's a quick read. So, and there are pictures, very sexy pictures, topless pictures even. So
now you, of course, are a trained nurse,
professional,
and you have a BS in biology. Yeah, and you went to school. I'm broadcasting from Santa Barbara. You went to school at UCSB. Where did you practice as a nurse? Did you actually work in a hospital ever?
I did. Yeah, I did.
You ever service a patient while at work?
What hospital did you work at?
I'm not going to say.
Right. You're not going to say the hospital?
Well, I used to work in a hospital also.
That's exactly.
I used to be a head shrinker.
He was a head shrinker at a hospital. So, Tara, what made you leave? Is this in the book? Again? What made you go from nursing, and I know you modeled and stuff, the porn industry? It's always odd to me. Here you are, you read the book, I read the PR, and it looks like it's all going normally. And then the next thing you know, you're going down on somebody on camera. Well, how do you make that, like, I don't know that I could have ever been talked into that move. Who talked you into that?
No one talked me into that. I mean, I made my own decision. I mean, it was something that I wanted to do. It was exciting. And, I think it takes an incredibly brave person to take their clothes off and fuck on camera. Oh, excuse me, I don't know if I can say that.
Sure, no, absolutely. You can say whatever.
Sure, you can say anything that you want.
Yeah, this is satellite radio. You can do whatever. Yeah.
Yay.
So you look at it as empowering. Like Margaret Cho has written the foreword of your book. Have you and Margaret had sex?
No.
No.
That's how a guy would answer that too, by the way.
Terror. Anal sex. What's
so it's empowering for you.
About?
Yeah. I did it on my own terms.
Now, a lot of people would say that, and I've interviewed tons of people, and they say that somebody screwed you up when you were a kid, or you were raped by your uncle, or attacked by your brother, or something like that.
Or touched, maybe.
Something or other. Did anything? None of that ever happened.
No.
Well, what did your parents think when you got into this business? I would just be so embarrassed.
Yeah. You see,
it's like, you guys seem to think that all I've done is porn. I mean, I've accomplished a lot. I've written a book, I've done a show. I mean, I've been on the cover of a lot of magazines. I've traveled the world. I've met some incredible people. I've done a lot of good things with my life and done a couple USO tours. My parents are proud of me. I'm not just some, porn chick.
Have they watched your porn, though?
What do you think?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Tara, what would be your worst porn experience as far as like shooting a scene or something that you didn't enjoy?
Well, I mean, everybody has good days and bad days, and I write about in the book that I had a scene that was a little too rough one day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us, or can we download that?
I don't think that's a real laugh, Tara. Do you?
We're embarrassed
that one was
for
forced.
that. Sorry.
Now, by the way, are you going to be signing the book at the Adult Entertainment Expo?
I am.
Yeah, today from 2 until 3 o'clock in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, but by the way, well, thanks for getting up so early. My God, it's 6:30.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, so
then Saturday also, both times 2 to 3 o'clock, on at the main stage of the Adult Entertainment Expo 2010 in Las Vegas. Yes, go ahead, Shula.
Have you done any films since the divorce?
No.
No. Are you going to?
No.
So are you done with adult films?
I am.
Good.
Really?
Okay. All right.
Tara, why don't you come into New York and sign your books in New York?
I was in New York. I was in New York on the 5th, and that's where we opened the book. I did a signing on Borders Wall Street. It was very successful.
And when are you coming back into the city again?
When you're in L.A., Ira.
Now, what is your whole take on when people, lots of women say, the television shows say it, that pornography objectifies and then is therefore bad in general for the...
And they say it desensitizes people.
The female gender. And you say it, you're saying just the opposite. It empowers
Women aren't
you.
forced to do it. I mean, they can choose to be in it if they want.
Oh,
but there's a bunch of greasy guys, pulling on themselves at the,
What's
the
with the
internet
accents, too? That is not...
And all that. I mean, when somebody says it objectifies you and does the opposite of empowerment, how do you respond to that?
Well, everybody has their opinion, but I mean, I've been very successful in my career and very proud of what I've done. I think that it is empowerment over exploitation, and we choose to be here.
Okay. Now, you had a lawsuit against Jenna Jameson. How'd that go?
We settled that a few years ago.
Okay. And are you still giving advice on Playboy TV? Is that still going on?
I don't know if the show is still on, but I had 2 shows on Playboy TV.
School of Sex.
School of Sex, yeah. And
a big report came out today that said scientists, and I want to say, I don't think it's in the United States, but scientists have said that they are saying there is no such thing as the G-spot. And I really believe there is, because I think in my life I've been able to manipulate it. Have you read that report about the G-spot?
No, I haven't.
I heard about it the other night on Conan, Jay.
Yeah, of course you did. Do you think that the G-spot is real, or is it an imaginary thing?
I don't think it's imaginary, but
I don't either.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think I might even have one.
I don't know where mine is.
I got one. Yeah, I do. Yeah. You got to get near the pool.
Tara's the kind of girl I would allow to find mine.
I found the G-spot.
Well,
It's on 53rd.
No, that's not. That's a deli. That's a whole different deal. Well, Tara, thank you. I know it's early, and you're going to probably
welcome.
Fall back in bed. The Sinner Takes All, a memoir of love and porn.
Can I just ask real quick one more question?
Sure.
So now you're not going to be doing any more films. What are you going to be doing with your career? Because have you made enough to just retire and not have to work?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
I have.
Wow, good for you. Now, you made that much money because you had your own production company and stuff, right?
Well, my production company, and I've done a lot of other things. I've, crossed over and done some really good things. So, yeah, I'm doing well.
Do you think you'll get some negative feedback from people who might be a little afraid to work with you on mainstream projects because of your past?
No, I haven't at all. I haven't hit that roadblock. No.
I'd
star in any movie you want to star.
Listen, I'm
writing one now, The Man Who Couldn't Get It Up.
I'd rather see her in Precious than Mariah Carey, I'll tell you that.
Jim of Connecticut, before we say goodbye to Tara, did you enjoy the interview? You enjoying the interview, Jim of Connecticut?
Well, I love this show. I love everything about it. It's hilarious, but I don't know if she's still sleeping or in an ambient coma, but I'd rather sit in a room with Madison and play slapjacks or something.
You're not
No,
enjoying
trust
the
me, you'd rather play with Tara's tits. Come on.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, well, you got a pretty nice rack too, but I mean, it's
thanks.
just really. I mean, maybe she's still sleeping. It's a great show.
What did you want her to do? Just talk
You
about
wanted her to be like, ow, what's up,
who she went.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I was.
You know what I just noticed, Jim? I want to thank you for this. She hung up on us, okay, Jim?
Oh,
did she?
Yeah, she's gone.
Let me tell
Hey,
you
Jim.
about- let me tell you-
Hey, Jim. Thanks.
I liked her.
You know what, though? Let me tell you about these
She was
broads.
nice.
Well, they're
broads-
very like sleepy sounding.
Listen,
and-
these broads are fucking guys. They're lining up to bang guys on film. They're doing bukkake movies and all this shit. And these pigs are offended by us.
Wait a minute.
Right,
I hear
that
some
was
hatred.
that was offensive.
By the way,
she's
I
still
hear
on the
some
line?
deep-seated hatred
Julie.
in this young Jewish man.
I
okay?
just, you know what? We had that.
You sound like I used to sound.
We had
and
that-
everyone told me there was. They go, you know what? There's something wrong with you, Jay. Whenever a porn star comes on, you attack them and ask about their parents. And Madison, you've even said it to me. And now you're doing it.
Let me tell you
Julie.
something, Jay.
There
Remember-
is something
She's
wrong
actually
with
really
you, my
nice.
friend.
You hold on a minute. No, when we had that Kendra Jade on, remember that broad, that whore?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
yeah, come
so
on.
she comes on. She's from the Girls Next Door. She was one of the 3 blondes
She
that
hung up
fucked
on
half
us.
or whatever. And
Yeah.
right. And what the first question you asked her right out of the gate was,
Yeah.
how do you fuck Hugh Hefner? How do you fuck that old guy?
Click.
Yeah.
Click. She hung up immediately. So now, and she wasn't even a porn star.
Isn't she with Hank Basket?
Yeah. Okay.
I
now-
didn't even insult her. I mean, I didn't even
Right.
get a chance to insult her. I didn't want to insult her, but it was just kind of a
No,
boring
you
interview.
kind
Yeah,
of
he's
did.
right.
I don't
You
blame you
insulted
guys.
her. You said she was
If she
pretty.
wants to
fuck
sell a
is she
book,
that we
you know what?
insulted her?
Here's the truth. If she wants to sell a book and you say, Shuli, what's the worst thing that ever happened? She needed to say, well, one time, whatever a guy's name is, came at me with a pool cue
Yeah,
or whatever.
I was
And- and-
softballing her
Story a
shit.
little bit. Give up
Yeah.
some information.
Something.
Make us intrigued by
All
the
right.
book. Thanks for coming in today, guys.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
That was weird.
You know what? I'm going to put that on my I want
That
that
guy should
on
be a
my
motivational
gravestone.
coach.
Yeah. Jay, thanks for coming in today.
I
Take a knee.
thought
Take
she
a
was
knee,
very
everybody.
nice.
Now,
I thought she
you
was
know
very
what?
nice.
I don't usually talk to the whack packers. Is that really Jeff the drunk there, Shuli? Do you think?
What's up? Let's see.
Is that,
I'll tell
is
you
this-
in 2 seconds.
Is this really Jeff the drunk?
Buddy.
What's that?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Good
Jeff. It is the real
morning.
deal.
Wow.
It's Jeff the drunk. Now, Jeff, I don't think we're supposed to talk to you
Jeff
because
Curl.
you're owned by Howard Stern.
You're
you
owned
know.
by Howard.
Well, I wanted to talk to.
Sarah?
Where is she?
That's
She
her new
hung
name?
up. It's very early back in Vegas, and she
She saw
didn't
your
like
number
the
come
line
up
of-
on caller ID, and she
She
hung up.
didn't like the line of questioning, and she could smell your breath from 3,000 miles away. So
It's not that guy. Fuck him.
yeah. What were you going to say to her, Jeff?
Could I ask her if she included me meeting her in the book?
Probably not, unless that was part of the worst experience she ever had.
I was very polite.
You
Yeah.
were. Hell, you don't even sound drunk.
And you're from upstate New York.
Jeff
Rock
actually,
on.
Yeah, you
The
don't sound
whack
drunk.
back, the Hollywood Squares game.
you know what? Jeff actually had an opportunity to have sex with a porn star. I forget her. What was her name, Jeff?
Which one?
The one that cried afterwards.
Oh, that was, what's that bitch's name?
Boy.
After she had sex with you,
After
Jeff, she
had
cried.
se- It is one of the greatest pieces of audio because she's sitting at the edge of the bed. You know she's just done self-inventory, right? And she's just shattered. She's hit her rock bottom. She's just fucked Jeff the drunk. And she's crying, and you hear the Howard TV producer goes, "Shh, it's okay. It's okay. I know. It's okay."
Jeff, how does it make you feel
no.
that you've just been described as rock bottom?
Oh, well. Live with that bitch.
Live with
All
it,
right.
bitch.
Well, I guess it is Jeff the drunk.
Hey,
same
Jeff.
same exciting
How about
material.
some wine?
How's the weather in Bern, New York today?
Burn, New York, Jeff would like to
In
know.
New York,
Near
it's
Albany.
around 24 degrees.
Wow. All right. Well, Jeff, thanks very much. This is the Jay
Hey,
Thomas
Jeff,
Show.
have a nice wine today.
All right.
Good one, Ira.
That's
4 glasses of wine, then go to sleep.
You know something?
Who's writing
Shot out of
his
a
material?
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take inventory of my career. We'll be right back. If you go to jthomas.com, we'll link you up to the guy in his in the hospital that rated my television appearance. We have the hot women there. Sean, what's the name of the hot women that are waiting for you?
Babe of the Day from Stare Magazine, Jay.
Babe of the Day.
Yeah,
from
and Stare Magazine's tagline is, "We don't have words, just pictures."
I like that.
That's perfect.
That's perfect for us.
jthomas.com. Yeah. There you go. And don't forget, T-shirts are on sale there. Go to the store. There's something for every style and fashion or saying or whatever. Roger in Ohio, the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Roger. How are you? Madison and Shuley are here. Hi, Roger.
Hi.
Very good. How you
Hey,
doing?
Roger.
Yeah, and Ira the weatherman. Yeah.
How's it going? I
Good.
just wanted to do a poem for you that I heard you guys doing the poems earlier.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do a nice poem for you. I just, roses are red, violets are blue. I'd like to see Madison Poontang. How about you?
I like any poem that has poontang in it. I'm a fan.
Now, you know what? You're going to think,
you.
you know what? This sounds like a joke.
I
but
got a nice poem, Jay.
Oh, no, it
I thought he was going to say I have a nice poontang.
What do you have, Ira?
Roses are red, violets are blue.
Mm-hmm.
Madison, you're beautiful.
Oh,
So are you.
When I was first starting in radio, I was in Pensacola, Florida, and they let me read the news. I would read the news for the guy that worked 6 to 9, and then I went on from 9 to 1 in the morning, right at night. I mean, so I didn't know the names. The Vietnamese or whoever the hell they were fighting. There was and I couldn't pronounce the names. So I go to this guy, and they're all drunked up. They're all drinking beer in an office, and I'm, like in high school. I go, I'm having trouble with these names. And the guy says, well, when you come to one you can't pronounce, just, say something that sounds like an Asian name. Just say Poontang.
Oh.
And I had never heard that term before. I know that sounds impossible, but I hadn't. I'm reading the news, and I come to something, and I cannot pronounce it. And I go, and this afternoon, in the village of Poontang, 30 Vietnamese regulars were killed, and many of the Poontanese. And I kept saying it over and over again. And they were, I looked down the hall and I saw the news director and everybody, running at me. And the Marines started calling the radio station. But did you know that, Madison, when you were a kid, did you know the term Poontang?
No, I didn't even know cock. I didn't know any of those words. Because I have a friend with the last name Coxhead.
Right.
And I didn't think there was anything funny about it for many,
Jill
many
Coxhead.
years. I had no idea.
And she's a lovely, sweet
I had no
gal.
idea it was anything.
And she said that her brother and her father are carrying on the Coxhead name as we speak right now. I would change that name, immediately.
Yeah.
God, good thing you weren't reading the news. And in the village of Cock.
Yeah, I mean, have some class. Go with Dickhead or something.
Yes, Roger.
Have you ever heard it called a whisker biscuit?
A whisker biscuit, no, but I'm writing that one down.
Hey, partner, let me ask you this. You ever hear it called a fuzzy lap flounder?
A whispered biscuit.
What about a bearded clam? You know that
wait,
one?
you ever heard it called a flap steak? I've heard that one. How about this one? My yogurt pistol. That's my favorite.
What about this one?
I like that.
Hanger meat. You ever hear that one? Hanger steak?
My whisker biscuit.
Hatchet wound.
Hatchet wound.
Oh.
That's a vagina?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
And
thank
my
you, Roger.
opening could be called the sperm spittoon.
Ah, I like that.
Thank you.
Let's go to Tommy
I
of
guess
Boston.
you don't.
Here's the headline. Tommy wants to tell us about sex with a rabbit. Yes, Tommy, go ahead. Go ahead.
Shalom, biatch.
Shalomi.
Shalom.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jay.
Oh.
Hey,
Thanks.
the Boston Herald has a great story today. Chelsea rabbit rapist convicted in cruelty.
The guy's name is Abel Aguirre, 38, of Chelsea, was convicted yesterday of animal cruelty for having sex with his roommate's rabbit.
Wow.
The roommate came home, found blood and clumps of rabbit fur on the bathroom floor and a claw belonging to the bunny. In Aguirre's room, she found a used condom with rabbit fur on it. The rabbit was injured and bleeding. My jaw hit the floor. This is in quotes. One juror said about the disturbing testimony. The rabbit had died but not from its injuries. Is that a great
From natural
story?
causes?
That is unbelievable.
The fuck did I like that the rabbit died, but not
It's in
from
the
getting
Boston
fucked by a
Herald
man.
today. Page 12.
Unbelievable.
Must be a slow news day at the Boston Herald.
But
huh?
not only did he screw the rabbit, he tore it. You talk about tearing it up.
That's terrible.
The rabbit's little claw was on the floor.
In all fairness, do you think maybe he was
At
just
least
trying
he
to...
used a condom, though, Jay.
He used the condom.
Well, you don't want to knock up the rabbit. But did you think maybe
You know why? He didn't want to get Easter AIDS.
There you go.
Thank you.
Rabbits are known for their promiscuity.
Do they have very, very
They
tight,
really are. They
balls?
really are.
Tight
Yeah, I got
balls?
another one for
Well, that guy's
Julie.
fast, by the way.
You know
too.
something, Tommy? You ought to call. Jay Leno likes these funny newspaper stories. That would really make the show. Hey, you ever see the one when the guy fucked the rabbit on there? Yeah. Look at the picture of the dead rabbit. Yeah.
He stabbed the rabbit with his cock. You guys
Go
see
ahead,
that?
Tommy. What else do you have, Tommy? I may hire you as a writer. Go ahead, Tommy.
He stuck his dick in the rabbit's whisker biscuit.
In the transactions in baseball, Toronto claimed infielder Brian Bocock off waivers from San Francisco.
We have Bocock!
I love you guys. Jay, you're going to take over when Howard retires next year.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You know what? They're talking about it right now. Okay. You know what they're doing? They're actually getting chairs and stuff ready for me to sit in back there. They don't give three shits about me at this place. They don't talk to me about anything. I'm lucky I'm not running the elevator and sitting out front checking IDs.
I don't know.
Okay. That's where I had a meeting the other day and they kept calling me Jeff.
Can you imagine that? You're like,
how you doing?
Hey, weren't you on Cheers? Let me see your ID, please. I don't have time for this shit.
And then Gary, I go, Gary Coleman. Gary, get over here and check this guy's ID. Hey, wait a minute, man. Jay Thomas is on the hood of my car. So, hey, Tommy, thank you very much. Those are
Yes, I am. Is everywhere.
All right. Thank you, Tommy. Mark, the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Mark, what uplifting question might you have to ask me? What, you know what? As I head off for the weekend, Mark, do something I'll remember as I'm heading off for breakfast in a few minutes. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, the only thing I can add to that conversation, that coach that just got fired for putting the kid in the closet,
Yes.
the trainer's name was Pincock.
Wow.
And he came out on ESPN quoting. So what I was asking is, I was a big fan watching you on Cheers. I was wondering if you were going to make the return to TV or movies, and a new name or a sign-off for Shuli could be, you could suck my shalami.
Hold on, I'm writing that one down.
You know what? Everybody, I keep doing every movie I can get my hands on.
I like how people think it's your choice not to get back on TV.
Yeah, people keep going like, "Gee, Jay, were you invited back?" And you just said no. I said, Tara Patrick and I have so much money, we're just gonna retire. I keep trying to do these independent movies, that are supposed to. And every one I pick is worse than the one from before. And I've tried I have 4 new ones coming out, this year.
Who reads these with you?
No one, obviously.
You know what, Madison? You have such a weird idea about agents. Agents don't read anything, or they call you up. They don't have time to read a 120-page script. They go, they're calling you, and the character is Jimmy, middle-aged man.
I don't know. Ari Gold
who
would have read the
dies
script on Entourage.
after screwing a rabbit. Jay, would you want to go in for that? Okay.
Well, why would you say yes then?
Because it's followed by a figure after that description.
Now, you know who does want me to do an episode, and I will do an episode, and I'll do it soon, is Cold Case.
Oh, okay.
They have been so kind to me.
Show I've never seen.
And they have been calling me, but when you go in, they have to match you up with someone that looks like you from 20 years ago. right? They apparently can't find anybody.
For every episode?
No, they just want me to do one episode, but they have to line up the person. They follow something from 20 years ago. Then they have to hire an actor that looks like the guy who did the crime, from 20 years ago.
There's gotta be someone.
Ooh, your
One of
kid.
my children ought to be able to do it, right?
Or Garrett.
You know what? I don't need to have one of those little pricks horning in on
What
my
about one of
idea.
the guys from Jersey Shore?
Yes, thank you, Madison. That's good.
Hey, it's the situation. I mean, Jay Thomas.
You know what? I want to thank all of you for leaving me with these incredible thoughts that I have. I'm going to read the Jim Murray book in a few minutes.
I'm going to read it too on the last day of my life.
Oh God! Why did you say that when he was on?
Kid. Oh, I don't know. I didn't think about
Jay,
that.
have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.
I'm going to read the Tara Patrick book on the last day of my life. How's that?
Let's hope
All
the
right.
book's awake.
Show's over.
Shalom.
Finally. Goodbye.
Juba.